Hey, it's John Pempathy here, and welcome to this very special training class. I'm so excited you're here. We are going to be journeying through this. This is my 5-step momentum framework, and this system has solved all of my marketing and sales problems, and has quite simply transformed my life. I've generated over $40 million online as a result of this, and there is no AI update or new algorithm change that's going to change this. It just works. It's bulletproof, and it's allowed me to go from this young knucklehead trying to build businesses online, struggling with the overwhelm of ever-changing sales funnels and traffic strategies, to now having a business that is attracting clients all over the world, and I'm sharing my message on some incredible stages. It's opened up opportunities, like spending a week with Richard Branson on his private island, being featured in publications such as Forbes, and speaking alongside world-renowned speakers like Gary Vaynerchuk and Les Brown and Stephen Bartlett. In fact, inside of one of our primary businesses, we've done over 20 million pounds. That's over 26 million US dollars. In fact, we've done over 40 million across everything that me and my team have done. And in that time, we've attracted 25,000 customers and clients to this business. We host incredible events here in London with over 1,000 people coming to see me and my team. And we've collected hundreds of client and customer success stories based on the stuff that we teach. In fact, our clients have reported over 122 million in earnings as thanks to my momentum framework system. We've helped clients from all of these different industries, from property investing to anxiety coaching, to coaching entrepreneurs with ADHD, to public speaking, to financial trading, to marketing agencies, book publishing, helping people get in the police, fitness, C-suite executive coaching, mindset coaching for race car drivers, accountants, financial services, consulting practices, recruitment businesses, you name it, we've probably got a client that's done it. This works for B2B and B2C alike. If you sell courses, coaching, consulting, professional services, events or speaking, this works for all of this, and I know it because I've done it, and we've got clients that have done it as well. So if you need your first or more customers and clients, and you currently don't have a way to reliably attract them to you and your business, this is exactly what you need. You're about to learn a predictable way to land new high-paying clients every single day, how to only work with clients you actually like working with, how to be in control of your business and only work when you want while your business is working for you, and have a huge impact on your clients and make sure they actually see results. And finally, fill your programs and offers with dream clients and none of the time wasters, and how to do that without needing to have or even grow a big following, without a complicated sales process, without killing yourself posting content on social media, without needing to rely on word of mouth, without needing expensive equipment, and even if you've struggled for years up until this point and nothing else has worked. Now, a couple of quick disclaimers. Disclaimer number 1, I'm incredibly passionate about this topic and I talk very fast. I have lots to cover, so grab a pen and prepare to take some notes. Disclaimer number 2, this training is pre-recorded. Yes, me, hello. We've pre-recorded this training, but there are 5 reasons why you shouldn't care, and in fact, this is actually to your benefit. Number 1, this is the only place to get this information. If you leave, you will not get this information, and this can transform your business right now. Number 2, I won't have this up online for long. I have no idea how long I'm going to have this training still in place. Number 3, you've now been cookied to not see another invite. Meaning, because you've registered for this, we're going to remove you from remarketing audiences and our promotional lists, so you won't get an invite to come back here. Number 4, I've practiced this, so this will be the best version for you to get this information. And number 5, I just think we're starting a relationship here, and I think it's important that we start with honesty so you know who you're learning from. And there's so many charlatans online that will just fake these live events, and I don't want to do that, all right? So it's been pre-recorded and you're going to love it. We're going to go really fast and go through these 5 sessions, breaking down this entire framework so that you can go from confusion, overwhelm, and everything else you're experiencing right now to utter and complete clarity over how you go ahead and structure your offers, drive traffic, turn those eyeballs and prospects into ready to buy clients, and then the sales and the back end nurture that you need to make this business work. I intend to absolutely blow your socks off with the training today. So lean in, take notes, and let's go. All right, we've got some really, really cool stuff to cover. And if that sounds great, then I hope you will lock in with me here, because what I have found is to miss a little is to miss a lot. If you're watching this training right now and you've got this tab open, but you're multitasking, you're doing a bunch of different stuff at the same time, and you're kind of listening to me, but you're also replying to some emails and doing some social media. If you miss just one piece of the training that I'm going to share with you today, it might be that one key that unlocks everything else that we're talking about. Then you get left behind, then you get lost, then you get confused. And that's where you go, I'm not really sure if I'm learning enough here. And you hit the X button and you go back to being completely overwhelmed in your business. I'm about to literally give you everything you need. We're going to talk about every step of this process. And it's so important that you lock in here and make sure that you double down. How long are we going to be going for? Honest answer, I got no idea. I have an amazing presentation planned. I might be able to do it in 90 minutes. It might take 2 hours. We might go a little bit longer. I'm not going to overly rush and potentially skip a piece. I want you leaving completely transformed. I want you to leave this presentation knowing exactly what you now need to do to change everything you're doing about your marketing right now to go ahead and start landing clients. That takes a little bit of time, and this is not going to be some lame 60-minute webinar with no value and you leave no better off. Okay? This content is incredible, but I need you to lock in. Now, if you can't stay for the full 2 or 3 hours, if that's how long we go, even if you can be here for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, as long as you can, you will still leave better off. Every minute here is going to be insanely valuable. All right, so if you're ready, let's go. The first thing I do need to let you know about is that I can only teach you this stuff because I've done it. And so I do think it's very important we take just a couple of quick minutes and I'll share with you how this whole thing came to be. Here are some pictures of me getting started in this business and trying to make some money online and start and trying to make something for myself. I was putting myself out there, I was recording online videos, didn't know whether anyone was going to see them, didn't know if it was going to turn into anything. I even bought myself a green screen kit because I thought that was what you're supposed to do. And then I ended up not really understanding how to use a green screen. So I put out these videos with goofy young John standing behind this green background. I literally put those online. So this is where and how I started. And I'm going to skip perhaps 2 or 3 years in my journey. 2 or 3 years of struggling with everything I tried to do, and I'll move you in the story to when I had my first big break. And that was when I started to get these simple little videos to rank on the first page of YouTube. I found a way to target certain keywords and get videos up in the rankings so that when someone searches for something, I appear. I'm getting 45,000 views on this video, and I'm getting thousands of views across all of these different video placements. And what I found is that I was also getting these videos positioned on the first page of Google as well. So these are screenshots that I took, years and years and years ago when I first got started. And what I would do is I would drive all of that traffic into affiliate products where I can get paid for just making that connection. And when I was 19, 20 years old, I was making between $20,000 and $30,000 every single month. It was crazy. And I remember getting to the point where I thought, I wonder whether I could teach people what it is that I'm doing. I wonder if people would want to learn that. This young kid making 20 grand a month with these simple little YouTube videos, what if someone would like to learn that too? So I launched a course, and I called that course Tube Traffic Mastery. I launched this back in, I think it was 2014. It was a long time ago now. And I recorded some videos, and I taught what I was doing, and I did some screen recordings. I had no idea if anyone would buy this thing, but there was just something about creating my own product, that just felt really special and really exciting. And I remember the moment, and it did take about 6 months, but I remember the moment where I landed my first customer. And when I say first customer, I mean not a friend or a family member, but a legit stranger who just found my stuff and saw value in signing up. And that was just an unbelievable feeling for me. I don't know whether you've experienced that feeling yet or not. Perhaps you have, and you know what I'm talking about. It feels electrifying. But if you haven't, I hope I can play a part in your journey and perhaps help you to land that first client, that first customer, and then obviously move on from there. Now, I met this guy, Russell Brunson. Maybe you've heard that name. You can see in the background. This was a conference from 2014 when I launched that course, and a mutual friend connected us and said, Russell, you need to learn what this guy's doing with YouTube. It's absolutely insane. And so long story short, Russell flew me out to Boise, Idaho. Yep, I know, I didn't know where that place was as well at the time. But I flew out there, I spoke at this event, and I taught his clients what I was doing, a room of people that have paid $25,000 to be in his program. And this was just like, my brain is exploding. I'm like seeing so much opportunity. I'm now in a room where people that paid $25,000 are trying to learn from me. And it just felt unbelievable. I sat in that room after my presentation, and I thought, you know what? I actually quite like this group of people. I like this group. I ended up signing up for Russell's $25,000 coaching, and I gleaned a few insights from that experience 11 years ago now. And it was my first exposure to seriously investing in myself. And to date, I've now invested well over probably about $300,000 in my own education on coaches and mentors, and it's given me the shortcuts that I need. But that's where it all started. And I found my passion. And my passion was teaching and training. I liked teaching it inside of my course. I liked teaching it at Russell's Mastermind. And then I started to put on these small workshops, and I launched more courses, more coachings, and I've had 3 primary pinch me moments in my business. I don't know whether you've had any of these yet, where you just have to pinch yourself and say, is this real? Have I created this life for myself, and have I actually done this? My first one was when I landed my first 10K month when I was about 19 years old. It was unbelievable. I remember just thinking, I'm earning more than my local doctor. This feels insane. The second pinch me moment was actually our annual conference called AdCon in 2025 here. This was just insane. We had 1,000 people come and see me and my team. You can actually check it out at adcon.co.uk. I'll put a link in the chat box for you here. My team will do that behind the scenes. You should definitely come and experience this event. It's unbelievable. It's like nothing you've seen before. But for me, it's a pinch me moment, because I look at this crowd of 1,000 people and I think, they're coming to see me. Like, this is just unbelievable. This young knucklehead who can't figure out how to use a green screen. And now I've got 1,000 people flying in from all over the world to come and spend time with me and my team. It just felt unbelievable. And the third pinch me moment is Necker Island. When I got started 15 years ago, I saw this guy, who you can see there in a blue t-shirt, called George, and he was hanging out with Richard Branson on his private island. And I remember thinking to myself, how do you get on a private island with Richard Branson? I was like locked into the thought of one day I could make that happen. I love a challenge, and I like setting goals for myself, sometimes realistic goals. In fact, that's the first lesson for you. I'd actually write that down. With many things that we're doing, we need to first set the goal and the intention, even if we don't know how to do it, and then we create the path to get there. We don't set goals that we know exactly how to achieve it, then those goals aren't going to be big enough. So I set this goal. I was like, I'm going to be on Necker Island one day. I don't care how, I don't care how long it takes, but I'm going to do it. And now 15 years on, I recently went and spent time with Richard Branson and an incredible group of entrepreneurs, and it was an insane week. We're playing poker in Richard's house, we're doing fireside chats, we're hiking up mountains together, we're doing chess tournaments. Granted, Richard beat me, that's a story for another time. But it's been an unbelievable journey, and I just think, how on earth have I gone from just trying to figure this out to being featured in Forbes, speaking alongside these incredible speakers, getting $10 million awards, and it's just been an unbelievable journey. And now I have ultimate freedom in my life. I can do what I want, when I want, with whoever I want, and it's been insane. It's all a dream come true, and I just really hope this inspires you. And I wanted to share all of this with you before we kick off the training, because firstly, I think it's important that you know who I am, just a little bit more about me, that you know that perhaps I'm worth listening to, that I've done some cool stuff, and what's really cool is that I know how I've done it. So I've not just done cool stuff and I don't know how to teach it, I know exactly how I've done it, and it's all thanks to this blueprint, and we're going to talk about that today. All right, we have a theme for this training, and the theme is momentum. That's why this is the momentum framework. So I'm going to put a link in the chat box to this framework, because I want you to follow along as we go through this training class. Do not hit that X button. Do not leave this training. You will regret it. What you should do instead is click the button to access this completely free, or you can scan the QR code on the screen, and then you're going to be able to follow along with this training. We're going to go fast. It's going to be incredible, and you're going to absolutely love it. All right. So with that being said, the first part of this entire 5-step process, as you'll now see from your copy of this, is what I call the foundations. And I otherwise describe it as getting your house in order, which is why on here it's visualized as a house. Reason why we do this, so many people are trigger happy and too excited to jump straight to driving traffic or doing their marketing or doing their sales, and they skip ahead. And it's a massive mistake to do so. If you just think that driving traffic is going to solve your problems, or building a marketing funnel is going to solve your problems, or downloading the latest sales script from an online guru is going to solve your problems, you are going to be sadly mistaken, and you're also going to waste months, if not years. I see this with my audience, I see this with my clients over and over again. There's a reason why this is in an order, and it's by design. So what is get your house in order? Getting your house in order is working on you, figuring out where are you keeping yourself stuck. Some of you on the line right now, you already know that you hold yourself back. You're aware of that. You're self-aware enough to know that. There are stories that you tell yourself, there are limiting beliefs, you procrastinate, you do these different things, and you know you're holding your success back. For others of you, you're completely oblivious. You think you're fine. And so then you're just trying to drive traffic, not realizing that there are a few mindset issues that are holding you back. So we've got to figure those out. I used to think that that was just a bunch of crap. Talking about mindset before I've had success. It's like, no, get me the success first, and then I'll work on my mindset. And I've had to learn that it's actually the other way around. Then we've got offers. We need to structure your offer and make sure that it's speaking to the right person at the right time in the right way. Otherwise, all of this is going to be for absolutely nothing. Then we've got to talk a little bit about branding and operation. If you do that, you'll have a firm foundation. You'll have what we call your house in order. And then we can go out there and step 2, start driving some traffic. Okay, we've got a few different ways we drive traffic. I'm going to break down all of those systems. I've had over 300 million views on my videos online. There is design, there is strategy. I'm going to break all of that down for you here. Then we funnel all of that traffic into our marketing. We need to have a lead capture system set up. We need to have a conversion vehicle set up to automatically turn interested eyeballs into ready to buy prospects. Then we move to step 4, which is sales. I'm going to teach you all about sales. Then we're going to move into step 5, nurture and convert. And that's where we maximize the revenue that we're generating on the back end of our business. Many people forget this part and just go back through the cycle, and it's a harder way to do your marketing. This will alleviate the pressure and actually have you, in some cases, no guarantees here, in some cases earning additional 6 figures a year by just bolting on step 5. So we're going to talk about that later. So where does this all start? It all starts with you at the very top. So don't switch off at this point and think, John, forget this. I want to talk about traffic and funnels, and if you're not getting to that quick enough, I'm going to hit that little X. You'd be making a massive mistake, and here's why. For some of you, you're stuck in what I call the PDPM cycle. You are getting in your own way, and unless you understand the PDPM cycle and you solve it, you will stay stuck. And you will watch everyone else around you continue to succeed, continue to get the results they want in their business, to scale their operations, win their dream clients, and you're staying stuck. And you don't even realize why you're staying stuck. So you need to understand this. You are currently missing incredible opportunities. They are everywhere. You just don't know how to capitalize on them. It's like sitting in a sushi bar and you're watching that moving food tray, and you see a good option coming and you think, should I, shouldn't I? I think I want that one, but maybe there's a better one coming. Perhaps I'll hold out for the next one. And then it's not until that option passes you by down the food trail that then you look at the next few options and you think, oh no, they're not very good. I think I want that one. Too bad. Someone on the next table just grabbed that one and you missed it. You know, that's what's happening with you currently in business and marketing and sales. It's like opportunities are coming, you're missing them. So we need to understand why. It's this. Here's where it starts. It starts with you getting excited about your idea, about your business, about what you could achieve. And so then you start to try and build it. And you get stuck in what's called perfectionism. Okay, I'm sure you're all familiar with this, but you want things to be perfect. Now I get it, by the way, we're entrepreneurs. So we want to put something out there that's incredible. And if it's not incredible, we don't want to. And so that keeps us stuck in perfectionism. And what then happens is that perfectionism leads to doubt. We then start to doubt the idea. We doubt whether we're doing the right thing. We doubt if we're using the latest training, whether things have changed. And so the thing we've been working on for so long now, for months if not years, we're now starting to doubt it, unfortunately. Now that doubt leads to procrastination. That procrastination is just going to stick around until you feel at some point freshly motivated again. Maybe you join a training like you are right now, right? We've been here before, right? Maybe you listen to a podcast, maybe you watch a YouTube episode and something someone says, you go, right, I'm ready to go again. I feel hungry for this success and for this business to work. And then all that happens is that motivation very quickly turns to perfectionism again, and you go round the cycle. We have to break it. How do we break it? We have to understand that the longer you stay in this cycle, you are staying in this, what is the beginning part of this illustration of a penny doubling every day for 30 days. Perhaps you've seen this illustration before. The compounding exponential growth here is insane. Watch this. On day one, your penny's worth a penny. If it doubles every day, well then by day two, it's worth 2 pennies. Day 3, 4, 8, 16. By day 10, you've got $5.12, okay? Whoop-dee-doo. nothing to write home about, right? But then look what happens. We go from day 11 to day 20, that penny has now become 5,000. Then we go from day 21 to day 30, that penny has become 5,368,000. Absolutely insane. Now, why am I showing you this? Why should you care? Well, I'll tell you. Because what is happening for you right now, and it's so sad, is you're staying stuck here. This is all that's happening. You've got stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, because you're in this PDPM cycle and you can't get out of it. And that is actually furthering the problem. Because then you're not getting out of that cycle because it doesn't feel worth it, because what you've experienced to date is the best of your results, which is day 10 at $5.12. You're playing in the small camp, and it's the lack of momentum that's keeping you from experiencing the big exciting numbers that would actually keep you motivated and keep you going. So we've got to break the cycle, we've got to get you out of it. So what you need to do is actually identify for you, and I had to do this too, what is holding you back? And if you can identify it, we can shine a light on it and we can get quicker to breaking it. So I've got a few things I'm going to share with you. It's rapid fire, and hopefully it's one of these and I'll be able to help you. The first is, you are lacking confidence in yourself and or your value. Okay? You've got this business idea, you think it could help people, but every now and again you just keep, wondering if you're good enough. Do people really want this? Are you qualified? And all these stories start filling your head as to why you're not valuable. Maybe you're lacking confidence in your offer. Maybe you're confident in you and what you can provide, but you're lacking confidence in the offer that you have that you could put out into the marketplace. That might be the issue. It might be embarrassment. Okay, I was speaking with Stephen Bartlett backstage at one of our events, and we've gotten to know him quite well now over the years, and we were talking about his rise to fame here. His social media accounts and his podcast, everything just absolutely exploding. I said to him, why do you think people struggle so much to just get their start and just achieve even 1% of what you're doing? And he said something profound. He said, embarrassment is the cost of entry, and most people are unwilling to pay it. That hits home, right? Embarrassment is the cost of entry, and most people are unwilling to pay it. That might be for you the reason why you're stuck in the PDPM cycle, because you just don't want to launch, whatever it is. You don't want to launch the offer. You don't want to launch your brand, your website, the sales funnel, the traffic, launch that video, launch that podcast, launch that YouTube channel. You don't want to launch because of the embarrassment. Well, you have to get over that. You absolutely have to get over that, otherwise you will stay stuck. There's a few more. Maybe you're stuck in dabbler versus doer, right? Maybe you're wasting time on fake work. Fake work is busying yourself every day, watching trainings and never actually implementing. Maybe you've got the constant stop-start. Maybe you've got lack of accountability. You're only accountable to yourself, and so if you don't keep your word to yourself, no one knows, right? There's no backlash. Maybe you're allowing that perfectionism to kill your productivity. You're making excuses for your lack of action, If only I could insert blank. My offer isn't ready. I don't understand the algorithm. I look funny. I can't communicate clearly. If you're thinking any of these things, you have to understand something critical. That if you don't think the reason you can launch is because you don't think you can communicate well, which is a better next step? To just keep telling yourself that story, focusing on it and doing nothing about it, and then in 6 months' time, you're in exactly the same place? Or would it be better to change the story and the narrative and say, I can't communicate well now, so I'm going to start on the journey to improving. And every day I'm going to practice, I'm going to get better. In 6 months' time, the same you, same story, same voice, same everything, but in 6 months you might actually be pretty decent. You might have some results in your business, right? So we've got to stop making these excuses. Here's some of the things you can do to start operating like a 7-figure entrepreneur. Start making quick decisions. Stop delaying decisions. So often you're joining trainings like this and you get fired up and excited and freshly motivated, and then you just delay and you procrastinate the decisions that need to be made. I have been able to win in business and in life actually very, very quickly by making these quick decisions. I no longer procrastinate as long as I used to, and I've seen my success go up as a result. You've got to embrace that discomfort, as we spoke about. You've got to be seizing opportunities. You've got to constantly invest in yourself and search for shortcuts. You've got to value your time. Time is of the essence. You've got to understand the importance of community. You're the average of the 5 closest people to you. So who are you surrounding yourself with? Whose voices are you listening to? Are you speaking your new future identity into existence now? Are you talking about yourself in a negative way? Are you holding on to a negative identity? Or are you projecting out into the future version of yourself that you want to be and now start to align yourself with the actions and operate like that new version of yourself would do? And you also need to remind yourself of the urgency to move fast, okay? The urgency to move fast. It is absolutely critical. All right, so that's the first step. Now we're going to move on from that because we've got loads to cover, but I do want you to just make a note. Part of your homework at the end of this training class is to stop for 5 minutes and have a very honest chat with yourself. What is it that you're doing that is holding yourself back? All right, I hope you're getting value from this training so far. We're about to go into an epic, epic session. And for this one, we're going to move into the offers. This is the next piece of this. You cannot, underline, exclamation point at the end, you cannot start launching funnels and traffic campaigns until you know what your offer is and you are confident and clear in what that offer is. And so in the time that we have together, I want to share with you something called the offer quadrant. And I think it's really, really going to help you. It's the best thing that I can give you. It's the best gift I can give you right now in the time that we've got, okay? Most people, when we are designing, creating, preparing to launch an offer, I don't care what that is, by the way. It could be a course, could be a coaching program, group or one-to-one, could be a consulting offer, it could be a professional services of some kind, it could be an event, it doesn't matter what it is. You're planning this offer, you're thinking about it all wrong, and by thinking about it all wrong, that's keeping you stuck in the PDPM cycle. So how do we break it? Check this out. The offer quadrant has 4 parts, and you need to do these 4 things in the order that I share with you to do right now. So where do we start? Where does all of this start? We start here, price. This is step number 1. We first decide how much do we want to charge for this offer, and in so doing, who is it that I want to start attracting, because your price is going to attract a certain group of people. We don't start with what the offer is going to deliver and how it's going to work and function and what videos you have in there and how many one-to-ones and whether there's events included. Like, it doesn't matter what the delivery is. We start with price. We start with price because otherwise we're intrinsically linking price to the deliverable. If you focus on your deliverable first, then you attach a price to it. Now they're intrinsically linked, which means that if you ever want to increase your price, you feel the need to increase what you give them. And that would be the wrong way to think about it. It would also mean that if supply and demand is meaning that you've run out of time in your day and you need to reduce your deliverables, you feel the need to reduce your price. We need to unlink those two, and we just need to first decide how much is it that I want to charge. Now you can look at comparables in your industry and look at competitors and how much they charge and what they do. But ultimately, I want you to think big. I want you to think premium pricing. I want you to think high ticket. If you're watching this training right now and you're thinking about launching an online course for $500, for example, think about putting a 0 on that. For many of my clients, we've been able to solve almost all of their offer-related problems by putting a 0 on the end. By 10xing their price, they just naturally start to attract a better quality client, a better experience for them, less clients to manage so you can have a great experience. Like, everything improves. So write that down in your notes if you're taking notes. Think about adding a 0. It might change all of your problems. You also need to realize that our price actually does indicate the quality of the person we're trying to attract. There's this idea I want to put past you, which is if we've got time over, let's say, desire and pain, okay? So the longer, these are periods of time, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 2 years, and this is the desire and for a solution increasing and the pain increasing, running in parallel to desire. Well, the more time that passes, okay, the more someone has a desire for the solution. Think about it. If you realize today that there's a problem with your body, right? You're feeling uncomfortable, your ankle hurts or your back hurts, whatever the case is. If you've only just realized today, then you are not looking for a specialist. You are not looking for a premium solution. You're probably, if you only just figured this out today, you're probably going onto YouTube. You're in this camp right now, and you're probably just going onto YouTube and looking for free information and Googling things and talking to ChatGPT and just trying to get some answers, right? Think about it. Once 3 months has passed, you're really starting to feel the pain of that problem out. If it's persisting, then that's becoming quite a nuisance. Your pain is increasing, you're starting to affect other areas of your life now, and so your desire for a solution is increased. Now think about it. What happens when you get to a year? What happens 2 years? What happens 3 years? The more time that passes, the more someone becomes desperate for a solution, and perhaps working backwards now, they've actually tried other things that haven't worked. They tried the free, cheap stuff. They tried the slightly more expensive stuff. Now they're up here in this bracket, and they are so desperate for a solution, they are willing to pay the big bucks to get to the best. And so just by having a premium price, you position yourself as the best. And so you can continue to struggle and hustle at a low ticket price point, and it's a race to the bottom, and you're competing with everyone else doing the same strategy, or you can elevate yourself and just literally based on your price, you position yourself as a premium solution, best in class, and you're going to then get these people. These people, I mean no discrimination, but these people are just not paying the premium prices. They're just not doing it. So let's not speak to them. Let's go for these people. It might only be 10% of your market. You might be getting feedback from family, friends saying, oh, no one's going to pay that price point. Why are you listening to those voices? Why don't you listen to the experts in the space? What if this here, what if this made up for 90% of the market? Well, then it's understandable that it feels like most people won't be willing to pay premium prices. That would be true. Most people aren't willing to pay premium prices because most people sit in here. But we're not looking for that, are we? We're looking for this incredible 10% of the market. That's who we want to speak to. And we naturally start to attract them when we first decide on what our price point is. Hopefully this is making sense, right? You'll also enjoy working with a higher caliber of client. My $100 customers, I'm going to be honest right now, they're whiners, they're complainers, they moan, they feel overly entitled, they feel like the whole training should be spoon-fed to them, and because they haven't paid that much, and for some reason they're just harder to work with. Not to mention I need way more clients to actually satisfy. Sorry, I need way more clients to hit certain revenue figures. When I get my $10,000 clients, they're so much nicer. They do the work, they take action, they're thankful, it's just so much better. Then I've got my $30,000 clients. They're just insane. Love hanging out with them. We do meetups here in my local town. They come into our office. We just have a great time. Then I've got $100,000 clients. Okay, many clients have paid me over $100,000, and then I invite them to my house. I actually like them. They're friends. The more you charge, the better the client. So that's where we start. Okay, price. Now here's where we go. Number 2, you should be drawing this in your notes to follow along. Number 2 is we go to audience, okay? Yes, that says audience. I can't spell, you'll get used to that. By the way, I've failed at school in every area. I didn't even, if you're watching this and you're in the UK, you know what I'm talking about, GCSEs. I didn't even take my GCSEs. I showed up for only like 2 of them. out of however many we're supposed to do, 10, 15, 20. So I don't have any qualifications. I kind of joke that I had to start a business because no one would employ me, and you're starting to see that with my handwriting, and you'll probably experience that later with my math, because that is also terrible. Anyway, number 2 is audience. Who is it that we want to put our offer in front of that would be willing to pay this price? It's a really, really important next question. And if you're struggling with this, and I imagine you might do, because I've had lots of clients that have, it might be that this changes all the time and it feels like the goalpost keeps moving, like who it is that you actually want, who it is that you could help. This might be a useful exercise for you. Think about it this way. If you're in your office right now and someone walked in and you were unprepared, but they walked into your office right now and they sat down in front of you and they just shared their biggest problems and they were looking to you for a solution. They were looking for your knowledge, your guidance. Who is it that sat in front of you? How do they look, sound? How old are they? What is the exact problem that they have? How did they describe that problem? What is the solution that they needed? What is the profile of that person that would have you lit up and beaming ear to ear, because you know with full confidence and full assurance you can help that person and you can solve their problems? That will get you so much closer to starting to identify who it is that actually lights you up, that you could help. But we next decide the audience, and that process there, coupled with just your price, starts to carve a spot into the market for who it is that we're going after. What you'll also find is your audience, and this is really important for your notes actually, your audience will evolve over time. It will actually evolve, meaning the people that you decide today, this is who I'm trying to target, next year, your avatar, your target audience might have changed a bit. But let's do that based on real in the trenches data, seeing how it's working out there in the market, as opposed to just staying stuck in your head in the PDPM cycle. Let's start with an audience. Let's start getting some customers and clients, and then from there we can improve our audience. Okay? Then, next, number 3, result. What's the result that we're going to get for these people that's worth that price? You might be saying, John, are we still not talking about what they get? Are we still not talking about what's actually in the offer? No, we're not. And this is a massive lesson for you. Is what we don't do is first decide what it is that we want to sell and what we're going to give people, and then try to dress it up with these extra things. We actually go completely the other way. We first decide price, then audience, then result. Then how do we give that result? What would I need to give them to make that happen? Okay, so the result is really important. What you need to understand is this. Let's quickly get rid of this. Cue elevator music. We're done. So what you need to understand is that if this is your prospect, we think that what they want is your product. And if they're willing to part with their cash for that product, then we can help them inside the program or whatever your offer is to get the result. So we think we have to sell the product. This is what it's about. This is the focus. This is the thing. And we think they want it. They do not want it. Again, I repeat, they do not want your product. What they want is the result. That's what they're focused on. So even if you do it that way, what's happening in your prospect's mind is they're going, right, okay, this is what I want. Now, can this person's product give me that? So then why don't we do the sensible thing and flip this entirely? And understand that if the prospect wants the result, then let's first define and decide what the result is, how we would articulate it, how it is we could get them that result, and then it's our product that's going to deliver on that result. So now, when we're selling the result to the prospect and we get them bought into us and our business, then we can just make sure that whatever it is that we create helps them to get that result. Now, hopefully this is landing and making sense. Of course, we're going fast, but I've got loads to cover, and hopefully you're getting value from this already, all right? So that does lead us on to, of course, the 4th point, which is delivery, okay? Which is delivery. So now what we have to decide is, how do I, this is critical, how do I deliver that result to that person and make it worth that price? That's it. That's the equation. So now, do you need to put some training videos together? Do you need to do some one-to-ones? Do you go out and visit them? I mean, do you do a monthly retainer? Do you sell a course? Like, I don't mind what it is. That's up to you. It's your offer. But this is the way we approach and think about offers, okay? Now, when you get that right, and we haven't got time to cover this part, but then we have to find a way to dress this up and almost put it in a wrapper. It's like a Christmas present or a birthday present, okay? We then put a nice little bow on there, okay? And we wrap this up in irresistible marketing positioning, and people just want to buy. So that is offers. We are part way through. We got loads more to cover. Next step is branding. Hopefully you're ready for some more, so keep your notepad open. The next thing is branding. Let's get rid of this. Elevator music again, please. Okay. I used to think that branding was complete nonsense. And in fact, I could actually go as far to say it wasn't as needed as it is today. It used to be relatively non-existent and you could still make millions of dollars. I actually made my first at least $2 million online before I even had a website, a logo, and a proper name for my business, okay? So we never really needed branding, but now we're at a point, unfortunately, where we do actually, it's more important than it perhaps it's ever been to have this umbrella of brand sitting above our entire business. It's, and of course, branding goes beyond what I just listed there, website, logo, name. It's everything. It's the way you're conveying your business, your story. It's the way you deliver. It's the way you communicate. You know, there's a whole host of things that goes into branding. I don't want you to get intimidated by this now, but we do just need to have this little bit of tender love and care over our branding to make sure that we are positioned correctly in the market. So this will be a quick one, but I've got 3 key takeaways for you, and I want you to write these down, okay? 3 key takeaways for how you can start to implement brand in your business in a way that's not overwhelming and not confusing. The first is actually your story and focusing on what your story is. People connect to brand stories, don't they? Right? You think about some of the biggest brands in the world, there's often a story behind it that is a motive and gets you connected with that business. Now imagine down at your level here. Perhaps you're a solopreneur, perhaps you've got a small business with a small team, maybe you're just getting started. Maybe you're just still working a day job and you're just trying to get this thing moving. Regardless, we're down here and we're just trying to get out to a handful of people that see value in signing up for our business. They're going to connect with our story. Now, what I want to put in brackets here is be real, okay? Be real, be you. Don't be the Instagram version of yourself all the time. People now, I think, when we're in an age now where AI is taking over, it's infiltrating everything and everyone. It's everything's there's so much uncertainty that people never really know who to trust, and it feels like trust is at an all-time low and skepticism's at an all-time high. And so bridging that gap is becoming more challenging, and we bridge that gap with branding largely. And so your story is going to really help with that. My encouragement to you is don't try to be like anyone else. Don't look at other people online and think, right, they told that story in that way, so I'll try to make my story sound like theirs. That story worked because it was unique to them. So you need to come up with what your story is. The second thing is quality control. It's quality control. We're at a spot right now where it is, dare I say, unacceptable to have an ugly website or an ugly sales funnel. There are so many tools out there that make this easier for you and faster for you that it is just truly unacceptable now. So you need to make sure you've got some quality control, that your pages look professional, look nice, look decent. Just really, really important that you do that, okay? Third thing, and by the way, the different softwares and tools that have templates and all sorts of stuff, like again, that's why there's no excuse, because there are tools that will do most of the work for you. So you just got to be really careful. The third thing is awards and social proof, okay? Awards are when you are perhaps submitting for an award in your local area, or maybe you're getting an award from us. I've got one here. We give these incredible awards out to our clients when they hit certain revenue milestones. They look beautiful. And as soon as you get an award like this, it doesn't matter what the award is for, you can now introduce yourself as an award-winning coach, as an award-winning entrepreneur, as an award-winning business owner, as an award-winning business. You know, you don't have to tell them what the award was for, but you are now an award-winning. So that really makes a massive difference to your branding, and then the trust you build, and then the clients that decide to sign up with you. And then social proof. That doesn't even remotely say proof. So let me try again. Social proof. This is where, you know, you've actually started to get some results for clients, and you're tracking those, and you're telling those client stories. You may not have them in the beginning. We've all got to start somewhere, but eventually you'll get to a point where actually you'll start to build up your social proof, your social equity, and that will really help your brand as well. All right. So mini session there on branding, because it doesn't have to be overwhelming, but I did just want to touch on the fact that it's on the framework here because it's so critically important that we have branding at play here, and it will really help your conversion vehicle. When we get to that part, these two literally, you know, these are actually intrinsically linked, funnily enough, and it makes a massive difference. Okay, so that's branding. The next thing we need to talk about is the operation that you'll see there on the framework as well in red or pink. There's so much we could cover on this, and I'm not going to for time, because I'm trying to get you the 80-20 of this. I'm trying to get you the most impactful, most helpful training in the time that we've got. But the thing I want to share with you on operation is that there's so much that can distract you and get noisy and just chaotic in your business. And one thing I've been teaching my clients for a very long time is you can't scale mess. Okay, you can't scale something that feels messy, chaotic, and uncontrollable. You know, if you've got dashboards everywhere, you're tracking all these different things, you're not sure what to focus on, you don't even know what your goals are, like everything's a mess. Here's how we solve that. And it's by creating what I call your North Star metrics, okay? Your North Star metrics. If you're taking notes, draw this out on your piece of paper. What we're gonna have here is we're gonna have your lifestyle figure, and then we're going to have your hero figure, okay? And the way we do this is we first decide how much do you want to be making every month in your business for this to cover your lifestyle, okay? So for you to be taking the family holidays that you want to, earning the money that you could need, you know, not having to necessarily look at a price tag, at least for day-to-day stuff. Like, what is that lifestyle figure? I'll give you an idea, although this doesn't have to be what it is for you. I find a lot of people, it's $10,000 a month. That's the lifestyle figure. If they could earn that, their lifestyle is covered. All right, so that's the first thing. So then we decide, for us to hit that lifestyle figure, how much do we want to be charging for the offer? Now, again, we spoke about the importance of high ticket. If you're still lower ticket, I feel for you. It's going to be a harder path, but you can still do this calculation. But I would highly suggest you raise your price, perhaps put a zero on the end. Let's say you want to charge $5,000. That's how much you want to charge for your offer. So then we have to determine how many clients do we need to generate every month to hit our lifestyle figure. Well, of course, this would be 2 clients. Okay, 2 clients, and even I can do that math. 2 clients at 5K would be 10K a month. Now, we're going to come back to this in a second, but let's first do our hero figures. Okay, this is where we determine what is that big number. This is that one where you go, I don't even know how I'm going to do it, but I'm just going to set the intention, because that is the big dream, that's the big goal, and I'm going to figure out how to do it along the way. It's like Richard Branson famously said, right? If you are presented with an opportunity, say yes and figure it out later. It's almost like in that vein, like me going to Necker Island and hanging out with Richard. When I first saw that young lad George on Necker Island, I remember thinking, I don't know how to make that happen, but I'm going to set that as an intention and as a goal. It's like a hero target for me, and then I'm going to make my journey. And obviously we managed to do it. So we're doing that for you now. It's like, what is that figure? For a lot of people that I speak to, it's 100K a month. Now again, it might be different for you, doesn't matter. Just giving you an idea. 100K a month, comfortably into seven figures a year. That's for some people like the big goals. Like that would put you in a position where you wake up in the morning, you have everything you could ever need. You've got an amazing team running alongside you, helping you with the bits in your business that you're not very good at, that you need the support on, that you get to be in your zone of genius. Perhaps you're stepping out on stages. Perhaps you're doing online events and having hundreds of people coming to hear you and deliver your training. Maybe you've got amazing offers. You've got a few different offers now, and you just focus on doing the stuff that lights you up in your business, and of course you're working when you want to, from where you want to. That would be the hero target. So what is that? So then you've got to decide, well, how much do I want to be charging for the offer? We might say, well, John, it's 5,000. What if it's not? What if I don't know yet how to do that, but I know what I would like to achieve? What if that was actually 10,000? What if you don't know how to double your prices yet, but in an ideal world, your hero target would be you would be charging 10,000? No problem. Then we would need 10 clients. Again, I can just about do that math. So 10 clients to 10K is your hero figure. Now, everything in your business, because why should you care about all of this? It's because everything in your business should focus on these North Star metrics. Every day, when you're doing any task, you should be saying, is what I'm doing right now getting me closer to my lifestyle target and my hero target? Is this worth my time, or am I distracted, procrastinating, or is this a low-level task and I'm not valuing my time properly? If I was earning these things, would my future version of me be doing this task right now? This becomes your North Star. Your whole operation is centered around these metrics. Okay, it's absolutely amazing. And what you don't realize right now, this is going to sound a little bit hypey, it's about as far as I go into the hype stuff, but this isn't as easy as you might, this isn't as hard as you might be thinking. Is it easy? No, but there's not many things in life that are worth having that's easy, right? So we've got to work for things. So it's not easy, but it's probably not as hard as you think it is right now with your current experience level. Because to do 10 clients a month at 10K and land 100K a month, we've had countless clients do that. I could do that with my eyes closed now, because I know the models, I know the framework, I know the process. And we're going to continue through this and pass it back down to you. All right? So that is operation, and that actually concludes getting your house in order. So I'm really hoping this is helping you so far. What's interesting is if you're still here right now watching this training, you might not be getting what you thought you came here for, but you might be getting exactly what you need. If you're still here, you're thinking, John, I came for the traffic and the funnels and the marketing and all those updates, but I've actually ended up staying for this because this is really helpful. So hopefully you land in that camp. We now move on to step 2 though, which is all about traffic, okay? If you feel right now like perhaps your industry's best kept secret, I wonder if that resonates with you. It's like, I just feel like I've got something so epic. I've got an idea here and I just can't get it out. My industry's best kept secret. If it's frustrating that you can't get that message out and get it in the hands of the right people. If you feel you've got the next 7-figure idea trapped between your ear holes, then I want to help you here. And a big part of this is traffic. You've got to get your house in order. And once you've done that, we can leave your house and start flooding your business now with traffic, with eyeballs, with attention. That's all this is. That's all traffic is it's attention. Okay? That's all it is. So we're going to go pretty fast through this. And my goal here is to give you these big takeaways. You're not going to leave with one single traffic strategy, A to Z, knowing exactly what to do. It's not the best way I can serve you. I want to give you the big picture. What is the framework? I'd rather teach you this so that you can now go out there and it's like, I'm not just giving you the fish, I'm teaching you how to fish. If I give you one little strategy right now, it's like, okay, great. What if in 2 months that doesn't work anymore? And that's not what I want to give you. What I want to give you is the overarching methodology here so that you can win, and you can win tomorrow, win next month, win next year and beyond. So that is this. There are 3 ways that we can drive traffic. We can buy it, we can build it, and we can borrow it. Any way that you could drive traffic on the internet will fall into one of these 3 categories. They all work together. And here's the update. We're in a position right now where you do need all 3 of these. If you are trying to run your business on just entirely paid ads, you're going to struggle. If you're trying to run your business on entirely just one single YouTube channel, you're going to struggle. Okay? And the same with borrow it, which we'll get to in just a minute. If you've only got one strategy for traffic, What if that rug is pulled from under your feet? What if the algorithm changes? What if AI makes that thing redundant now or no longer functions as it did before? Now you're stuck. Now you've got a business that suddenly overnight has stopped performing. What we need are multiple traffic strategies that all link together and support each other. So let's talk about each of these and then we'll talk about how they work together. The first is we've got buy it traffic. So this is any time you're spending money to acquire that traffic. It might be YouTube ads, it might be Meta, it might be LinkedIn, it might be Google, it might be sponsorships. The entire aim of the game is getting eyeballs, okay? Those are eyeballs. I'm going to delete that. We're getting eyeballs on your business, and we're bringing them down into a place where hopefully they come into our conversion vehicle, which we'll get to later, and they become a customer or a client. Now, most people won't do that, okay? Some people will, meaning we're getting a low conversion rate. We're getting loads of exposure from our paid ads. Right, you've probably seen it, right? Ads popping up on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. You can't go anywhere without an ad popping up. So exposure is very, very high. But for those business owners, then there's a small few that click through and then a small few of those that click through that actually take the action. Loads of exposure, small amount that take the action. Now the game would be, even that small amount that take the action, can that offset the money that I'm spending on the ads? Because if it is, it's like an ATM that just constantly spits out money. Right? You put some money in and it spits you out more money back out. And then you just continue playing that game. That's where it can get quite fun. But it's also great because build it traffic is fast. You don't probably right now have a traffic problem in your business. Meaning it's not that you can't get traffic, it's that you're just not doing it the right way. If you go to Mark Zuckerberg right now and offer to put some money into the Meta ad machine, he and the Facebook people will be very happy to take your money and they will give you traffic, that you will literally get clicks to your business. So traffic is actually very easy to get. It's having the right strategy to convert that traffic into interested prospects and then clients, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. But the benefit of buy it is speed. We get that traffic really quickly. So second thing we need to understand, build it. Build it is when we're going out there on YouTube and Instagram and LinkedIn and Google, and we're not running ads, we're building an asset. We're building a website that ranks for SEO. We are building a YouTube channel that gets seen, gets exposure and grows subscribers and grows views. We're building an Instagram profile so our personal brand is getting out there and so on and so forth. Now, buy it traffic was the quick win. This is the long-term play. This is where you now, alongside the quick traffic, you're getting this amazing asset, a warm market that know you, like you, trust you, and repeatedly take an action from you whenever you do some kind of call to action. Remember what Stephen Bartlett said? Embarrassment is the cost of entry, and most people are unwilling to pay it. This is where I see this the most prevalent, is that people, you know, they want that big YouTube channel, they want that big podcast, they want that big Instagram account, but they're unwilling to put the work in because they're embarrassed about the video that only has 12 views or 7 views, and 4 of them are you refreshing your own video to see if you got more views. And you know, we've got to get past that. We've got to get past that, otherwise you're never going to get into the good stuff. And for all you know, one of those 12 viewers might actually be your dream client. You never know, all right? And then we got borrow it. Borrow it is absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. Imagine that someone else has done all the work to build an audience, okay? They've run the paid ads, they've done all the build it stuff, they've put in all the work, the blood, sweat and tears and the years and all the money. They've built an audience and they would just gladly put you in front of that audience. That's what we're doing here. We're borrowing someone else's audience that is made up of your dream clients. That's a pretty awesome scenario, right? Well, that's what we're doing here, okay? I actually want to present a scenario to you here. Check this out. Back in, gosh, this was a long time ago, 2013. This was back when I was doing my YouTube my YouTube strategy, and I was making 20 grand a month as a 19-year-old. Back in 2013, check this out. I got this speaking engagement. Someone presented me an offer to speak at their event. There was only about 20 people in the room. And I posted this on my Facebook, actually. I went back and found it. Clearly, I don't know how to present wearing my backwards snapback. But I took the opportunity. An opportunity came, and I seized it. And 20 people's 20 people, right? 20 people I didn't have before that were maybe interested in what I was doing and my message and what I had. Little did I know, there was someone sat in that room that ran big events. And they heard my presentation and they liked it and they thought that I could provide value to their audience. And so check this out, a year later, I got this invite. Goodness me, I'm speaking on this stage now to 3,000 people. Do you understand how insane that is? Someone else has done the work to build an audience large enough that 3,000 people will come into one room. And I've had to do absolutely nothing for that exposure, but build a relationship with the person who has the audience. So much so that I will be invited to speak on the stage. It's absolutely insane. These are the opportunities that can start to come about for you. But what you need to understand, oh, by the way, what's also cool is then we're at a point where now I've been able to do something similar. You know, that just feels insane, by the way, because all of these stepping stones lead to the bigger things. Seizing these opportunities all the way back from when I was just this young knucklehead speaking to a room of 20, I could reasonably assume that I may have never gotten to this point had I not taken the opportunities that came about along the way, right? So it's really, really cool how all of this stuff works, works together, all right? So let's now talk about how if the buy it stuff is fast, if the build it stuff takes that little bit longer, it's the long-term play, and the borrow it stuff is reliant on relationships, then how do they all work together? It's really fascinating how this happens. When you run paid ads, you get a quick result, right? So we're going to make a little bit of money because some people decide straight away they want to make a purchase. Most people don't. Well, if we don't have anything else for them, then there's nowhere else for them to go. But what if we had a YouTube channel with some great content on there? Well, the people that don't make the purchase, okay, well then they might go and follow you on YouTube, follow you on Instagram, follow you on LinkedIn. And maybe having watched the content on your Build It channels for a bit, they then decide to make a buying decision, okay? So someone that came from an ad has now made a buying decision later on in the journey because they went and watched more of your Build It stuff. You might have someone that discovers you on one of your Build It platforms, and now that you're building know, like, and trust, then when they eventually see an ad from you, they are far more likely to interact with the ad and then buy the thing you're recommending because they know who you are. There's rapport already with those people. And then you've got the borrow it stuff. How do you think you get these big opportunities? How do you get on big stages, on podcasts, invited to Necker Island, all this other incredible stuff? How does that happen? It happens because someone with a borrow it audience is watching you. They're seeing your stuff, right? They're watching you and going, I think that person would be great for my podcast. They're never going to find you unless you put yourself out there. And then you have some amazing opportunities that come from being on someone else's audience. So either they have found you and that gave you the opportunity, or you get some borrow it exposure and those people come back and follow you, or they see your ads. This machine works together. You need to learn a little bit about paid ads, not much, not expensive, not daunting, but a little bit of budget. Then you focus on content and you focus on relationship. And those three things then create this powerhouse in your business for driving traffic. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Then we move down to, if we're getting traffic, where are we sending that traffic? What are they going into? Well, that's step 3, and that's our marketing. Okay? This is the part where we all get a little bit worried. We get ants in our pants because we've been here before where we're trying to build marketing funnels and websites, and maybe you're watching the training here today and you're like, I feel okay actually about producing content, doing videos, and I've run some ads before. I feel confident and comfortable in that, but I just get so overwhelmed by the marketing, like actually having to build a marketing vehicle, a sales funnel, a process. And I want you to understand, I've been there before. I've been completely bogged down by the tech. I've been completely overwhelmed by the tech. Believe it or not, I must be on the autistic spectrum somewhere. I've never been properly tested, but my parents were so incredibly sure that I was at some point. I've for sure got ADHD. You know, there's certain ways that outplays where it gives me a little zone of genius, and there's other areas where it actually is a weakness for me. And one of them is overwhelm. I actually, I'm talking like a friend now, as if you want to get to know me. But like I can get overwhelmed by things. So if there's too many things going on at the same time and too much to try and understand and oversee, that's where I get overwhelmed and I shut down. And that's happened loads with the tech in the business. You know, the dream scenario, I wonder if you've actually been here as well. The absolute dream scenario is that we're able to have one system. Let's call it system. One system that just does everything that it's supposed to do in your business. So you've got all the different areas of your business. You've got products and sales and funnels and websites and all this other stuff. And it should just do everything so that you can host your business in one place and you can just go out there and focus on landing customers and landing clients. Problem is, what you've realized is all these different features and things that you've wanted in one system, actually, they're not attached. They're actually external. I had to do this. So basically, I had my business here. Then I realized I had to buy ClickFunnels for $297 a month. I paid that subscription for about 10 years. $297 a month for ClickFunnels. Then I found that ClickFunnels didn't actually do everything that I needed. I needed some other features that they didn't have. So I ended up at the time going to another platform called Kartra. And I paid Kartra $197 a month for some extra features that ClickFunnels didn't have. The equivalent of these two now might be something like Go High Level. Perhaps you're using that right now for your funnel building. I then had to go to Kajabi for my course hosting. You might be using Thinkific or Udemy, but we're going to host my courses somewhere. So I was on Kajabi for that. Then I had to use Keep, formerly known as Infusionsoft, for all of my email stuff. Believe it or not, that, I feel so embarrassed even saying that. This was $800 a month for Infusionsoft. You might be using ActiveCampaign or MailChimp, doesn't matter what it is. It's another system for emails. Then I needed Typeform. I needed forms. So I was adding forms. I wonder if you can relate to this. Are you watching this going, yep, that's kind of my situation, you know, right now. Then I needed something called Deadline Funnels. Deadline Funnels was allowing me to create some urgency in my business. So making offers that actually do expire. In today's industry, we have to do that now. We've got to have legit urgency. That's true. So I needed Deadline Funnels. I also needed Zapier, spending $1,000 a month just to zap all of this stuff together to make it work with the system, and so many other little things. I mean, I was spending between $2,000 and $3,000 a month on tech. It was unbelievable. And then I found the solution. In fact, I didn't find it, I built it. Me and my business partner, Ryan, we said enough's enough. We had made millions and millions and millions in our other businesses, and we said, let's do our hero project, which is let's build the software that we've needed for 10 years that no one seems to be able to quite get right, and we've done it. I wonder if I can show this to you for a few minutes. You are going to lose your mind when you see what it is that we have here, and when you see the very special link that I'm going to give you in just a moment. I think you're going to lose your mind. Check this out. So I'll share my screen. The software is called Funneler.ai. You can visit that link. We'll put the link in the chat. You can just hear a little bit about what we have and what we've got going on and how it works and all the different things that you can do in here. You can build your website, sales funnels, product sales, membership sites, email marketing, affiliate programs. You name it. It's all in here. But then here's where this gets really, really cool. Check this out. If we go behind the scenes, I've got this demo account that I can show you. I now run my entire business from inside of this one Funneler dashboard, and it's incredible. So this is where you can see a snapshot of your business for the last 30 days, or you can do different custom date searches. But I have everything in here. So for example, my websites, addclients.com, it's all hosted in Funneler and designed in Funneler. My sales pages for my different products, it's all in Funneler. My event pages like AdCom, it's all in there. My lead magnet pages, my webinar funnels, it's all in this system. We have this navigation bar that just, you always know where you are at any one time. So rather than being in a big confusing system like Go High Level that has a gazillion and one different features, but they're not cohesive, they don't work together, you never know where you are, you have to hire a third-party consultant just to help you untangle the mess inside of your account. We focus on simplicity here. You just have everything you need on one sidebar. All the core areas of the business are here. You can pin the ones that you use regularly. So if I unpin some of these that perhaps, let's say, I don't use as frequently, then I've got a nice tidy navigation. Or I can repin ones that I do want to use. It's so user-friendly and it's unbelievable. Then we got the funnels area. This is one of the areas that we are the proudest of, because building funnels is at the core of everything, right? Like if you can't get this part right, and if you can't launch a funnel quickly, the wasted time is actually very costly. It's insane. So we need to be able to launch funnels very, very quickly, very, very timely. And that's what we can do. So when you're inside Funneler, for example, you start a new funnel and you can just start to build a funnel from top to bottom and just add to it as you go. So I might add my first page as an opt-in page. Then I decide I want to add people that opt in to a certain list inside of my system, add them to an email sequence, take them to a sales page. What do I want to happen next? Is it an action? Is it to do something? Is it to buy something? Is it to redirect them somewhere? Is it to sell something? Or is it another page? I've got this full flexibility to be able to build funnels like this, where someone opts in, all these actions are happening, they come to a sales page, that takes them to a checkout page, that sells the product. Maybe I want to give them an upsell offering that they can add one click to their order. If they say yes, they go down this path. If they say no, they go down this path. And we can also do things like this. I've done webinars in the past where I have a VIP option once they opt in. So they opt in, add it to a tag, then they come to the VIP page, got a couple of options for VIP. If they purchase those, they go down those paths. If they don't, they go to the confirmation page. What I find amazing about this, and what we designed on purpose, is having what we call a visual funnel builder. You can just see exactly where your funnel is at from top to bottom. And we even put exclamation points next to certain elements if there's a problem with that particular page or that particular step, so that you always know, like a personal assistant in here, if something's wrong and needs a bit of attention. So we're so proud of what we've created here, and I think you're going to absolutely love it. Then of course you've got your products, where you can decide what products you want to sell, and any product, any price point, you can dream up. It integrates with Stripe and others. Then you've got your orders, where you can see where your orders are. You've got this programs area. And this is where you can host all of your amazing courses and programs and things that you want behind password protected membership sites. You can see the users that you have in all of these. So I've got 106 students in this program, for example. I can go in, I can see those students, I can click on one and I can see the progress. What lessons have they watched? How far have they got through? What's their overall progress, so that I can support these clients even better. This is going to replace Kajabi, it's going to replace Thinkific, it's going to replace Udemy, whatever it is that you're using. And then, like a beautiful CRM, you can manage your contacts and your customers in the contacts area. You can see the lists that they're in, the tags that they're on, but also if we go up and check out an example of a contact, this is one of my team members, but what you can actually see here is that we've got the information about the prospect. You can see the things that they've purchased, you can see the subscriptions that they're on, you can see their engagement rate in the business, you can see if they agreed to marketing for GDPR purposes, you can see the lists they're on, the tags they got, the access they've got, the products they've purchased, and all of these extra custom fields if that's what you want as well. I'll go through these others super quickly, but check this out. We've got Messenger for all of your email marketing. So this replaces ActiveCampaign and Keep. You've got affiliate marketing features to be able to create amazing affiliate programs for people to promote your products, and they get a split of that. You've got forms, so you can create these amazing, beautiful scorecards and quizzes and surveys. So that this replaces Typeform, and all the stuff you can do in there, we can do in here. And we've also even got video hosting. So everything's in one place. And the final thing I'll tell you, by the way, is, and this is quite insane, is we have an amazing affiliate opportunity, meaning you can promote Funneler. If you start using it and you love it, you can actually promote Funneler and you can earn up to 90% commission. I mean, it's just mad, because we want to give all of the benefit to those of you that are sharing the word and telling other people. So Funneler's insane. You will finally have your whole business in one place, in one simple place. I hope that you like the sound of that. I hope you like the Look at that. So anyway, we're moving on. That's not what we're here to talk about, but I'm so excited about this software, what we've created. It's amazing, and you need it in your business. So I wanted to make it a no-brainer for you to at least just take a trial and check it out. But we've got so much more to talk about, okay? So stay locked in. The next thing is obviously implementing the marketing stuff, and it all needs to start with lead capture, okay? We need to make sure that when we're building our marketing funnel, okay, we've got all this traffic coming in, we've got buy it, we've got build it, we've got borrow it, we've got all this traffic, and we're sending it into our sales funnel, okay, which looks like a pair of pants. We've got lead capture, and then we've got conversion vehicle, which we'll talk about in a minute, and then we've got sales, okay? All of that traffic needs to come into a spot where we collect the person's name and email address, at least. This is called lead capture. Because if we don't do this, then either someone goes all the way through the process and buys something at the end, or they exit the process and you never hear from them again. That's not efficient. We want to build a massive email list so that we can sell to those people again and again and again. I have had months where I've done up to $500,000 in a single month with one promotion out to my email list. Your email list will become your greatest asset. In fact, it's actually the thing that is the closest, I don't want to make this sound too good to be true, but it actually is. It's the closest thing to push button money. You put in all the work up front, but then you are in a scenario where you can hit one button, which is the send button. And that email goes out to thousands of people on your email list, and then money just comes back in return. It's insane, but it takes work to get there. Your email list is a massive, massive asset. And you've also got to understand that when you collect these leads, we don't just want to focus on our sales funnel performance in one hit. We want to realize that we've got, let's say, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And let's do the same along here. I won't count, but let's just assume this represents 100 leads, okay? 100 leads coming into your system. What you don't want to do is start driving this traffic into your, where's my thing gone? Here. What we don't want to do is focus on driving this traffic into the funnel, and maybe they convert and you make a bit of money, and if you don't, no problem, and you just go again. Same process. We need more traffic, need more traffic, need more traffic. If you neglect this, you are losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. Seriously. It's like you might close, let's say 1, 2, 3 clients out of 100 on that first go. And if you do nothing with the leads, then nothing will happen. But in month 2, it seems to us that you can almost double conversions by just doing more with the email leads. So if that was a $5,000 program, you made $15,000. Okay, great. You might just go back and do more, or we can do more and double down on the back, because we might find that the next month we do another 3 sales just simply because we're sending emails and focusing on this part of the business. Now that's doubled. Now we're at 30. Okay? Now times that by 12, that's 360,000 a year. Okay? And we doubled that by just focusing on this. Again, same thing is true. And now what you might find is 6 months down the line, what if you converted that many more people just by focusing on it? What would that do for your front end? It would make your marketing so much easier. It would relieve the pressure on the paid ads. It would give you more budget to run more paid ads. It would help you to grow and scale your business. Imagine how that would feel if you were having more money coming in, and sometimes you didn't even know where it was coming from because you just got these emails set up inside of your system. It's incredible. So we've got to start with lead capture. Really, really important that you understand that, okay? Now, where are we sending those leads once they opt in? Coming down into this system. This is our conversion vehicle, otherwise known, by the way, as a sales funnel. I just quite like the term conversion vehicle because the idea is, in my business, it is a vehicle that's solving a problem and is actually converting people for me. In most cases, it's completely automated, okay? So what is our conversion vehicle designed to do? Well, it's actually bridging the gap between these two things here. Leads come in, and I want those leads to become sales. So I want to convert those leads. That's what it's trying to do. And so what you need to understand is a concept that's very, very, very important. And I'm going to get rid of my, I don't know whether we're going to do the elevator music again. I'm looking at Pete behind the camera there. There's this concept called the cold to sold timeline. And it's so paramount that you understand this. You should actually draw this in your notes and follow along with me, okay? So every person that you interact with in your marketing, on social media, everything you're doing, they start cold. Never heard of you, not interested, don't want to buy from you. And we're trying to get them to sold, right? Now let's say that that takes 10 points. 0 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Along this journey to get someone from cold to sold, marketing is going to play a part and sales is going to play a part. And somewhere along this journey, marketing hands off to sales. Marketing creates the opportunity. Marketing is your traffic, your funnel, your conversion vehicle, all the stuff that you're doing, that's marketing. At some point, marketing is going to hand off to sales. That's where you actually make the offer. That's when you take that sales call, when you jump on with a prospect on Zoom and try to close them. That's sales. Somewhere that's being passed off. What we're trying to achieve with our conversion vehicle is the most amount of qualified leads and the highest quality. So we want volume and we want quality, right? Now, if we put that marker somewhere down
The current
here,
volume is 100%.
meaning marketing is getting prospects to a 2 out of 10 on being sold. What does that mean sales has to do? That means sales has to get someone from a 2 to a 10. What do you think that's going to do to your sales conversations? They're going to be really hard. You're going to speak to people that are not sold. You're going to speak to people that are making the conversation really difficult and awkward and weird. That's going to mean that so many of those people are not even going to show up for the appointment that they booked with you because they weren't even serious enough because they're only down at a 2. But what's the upside of doing this? The upside is that we get volume. Because if there's not much marketing happening, then we're able to get lots of people coming through and booking all of these calls. Hopefully this is making sense and you're getting it. So what's an example of a 2? An example would be a VSL. Now, I would like to point out, I have still made millions with VSLs, and there are still unique times and places where we might use a VSL. For probably 2% of our clients, we would recommend, for some weird, wacky reason, we'll do a VSL. 98% of our clients, we don't. And the reason we don't is because with a VSL, which is a video sales letter, you have someone landing on a page where there's a video, and the video might be 5-10 minutes, and then you offer them a chance to book a call with you. So if they're booking a call here, that phone conversation is going to be insanely tricky to get them to convert, and it might be why you've been struggling up until now. So if that's volume, how do we get quality? Well, you probably already imagined. We're coming up here to an 8. We're now wanting marketing to do most of the work, which means a bigger, more complicated sales process, more automated systems, more stuff going on so that we can get more people to an 8. An example of this might be a live event, okay? It might be a live in-person seminar, but now you've got to spend money booking out a hotel room, you've got travel, you've got to get people to commit to coming and meeting you in a hotel room in the middle of your local city. And that's a massive commitment. So you're going to get not volume, but once they come through that event, they're probably very close to being sold. And so sales is much easier. You've only got to get them from an 8 to a 10. So that's when you have delightful conversations. It's amazing, but you're not going to have many of them and you can't scale that business. Another example might be even a virtual event, to be fair. You might do like a 5-day challenge or a 21-day challenge or a 3-day virtual masterclass. But that takes a lot of tech, a lot of headache, a lot of work, a lot of effort, a big team, if I can be so bold. So then what's the answer? We are trying to pin this here. I want the perfect balance, like a seesaw. I want the perfect balance of volume and quality. And if I can get that just right, I win on all accounts. And I know what the answer is because I've done it, and I've done it time and time again, and I'm going to teach it to you. It's the perfect conversion vehicle. You might already know what it is that I'm going to suggest, but I'm going to tell you what it is right now. This here, my friends, is a webinar. It's a webinar. It's the very thing we're on right now. I'm literally proving to you in this moment that webinars are the right way to go. Because the problem with these other two, you are listening to other marketers online that are very good at what? Marketing. Creating a narrative and a story that makes something sound new and exciting, and people are drawn to new and exciting. So when you hear me talk about webinars, for some of you, you've just shut off. Even though you're here on a webinar right now, and you're still here, proving that I've retained your attention. You are still going, boring, webinars, I've heard of that before. We're always out there seeking new and exciting, not realizing that that is the trap. Because what actually happens, okay, is someone figures out a new marketing strategy, all right? So they figure it out. Let's say, let's even give VSLs the benefit of the doubt, all right? VSL. Someone figured out a new fancy way to do it, and it's the latest, greatest thing. So then we've got that person getting insane results very quickly. Then you've got early adopters. These are the people that catch on quickly. They're the ones that in the sushi bar, they go, I like that item, I want it and I'm taking it, right? They seize opportunities, early adopters. Then you've got the people that waited and procrastinated. So you've got mass adoption, okay? Got mass adoption. All the people that then waited until it seemed like enough people are doing it that now I can comfortably step and do that thing, and I'm still within my comfort zone. And of course, at that point, that's the masses, and so then we have the decline. And the decline is now that strategy doesn't work anymore because it's been through this cycle. Sometimes that cycle takes 6 months. Sometimes that cycle takes 2 months, and I've even seen it where sometimes it takes like 2 weeks. Like someone did this incredible launch and actually that launch was a one and done, and then people tried to model it and copy it and it doesn't work. They don't know why. It's because it only had legs to do it just one time. And what's interesting about this concept is while you're chasing the latest and greatest marketing strategy that constantly goes like this in the marketplace, okay, this is what you're currently doing. You're jumping around from strategy to strategy, stuck in the PDPM cycle, because just when you're feeling motivated by how exciting this is, while it's going into its decline, you're procrastinating, then you start to doubt if it even works anymore, and you'd be true. It doesn't work anymore, it's down here in the pit. Whoops, that looks suggestive too. I can't seem to stop doing that. so now it's down here in the decline, and now you're trying to find the next thing. And you're just doing this. You know what's really amazing to me is there has been a constant all the way through with just little zigzags like that. And that, of course, you know what it is. It's a freaking webinar. There is a reason why Alex Hormozy, not too long ago, just did a $100 million launch with a what? Webinar. There's a reason why Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins are doing some of the biggest launches in my industry with webinars. There's a reason why I have been doing webinars for over 10 years, have done 40 million myself and 122 with my clients with webinars, because it works. It's the boring, unsexy constant that when you are ready, you can jump off this and just get on something that's proven and working. It's incredible. So you've got to have a webinar. There are 6 reasons why webinars are insane. I need you to understand this to understand why you need a webinar in your business as well. And if you don't get this, I'm afraid you're just going to stay stuck in this, and I really don't want you to. So write this down. Open up your notes right now, get a fresh page, write this down. 6 reasons why webinars are the best. Number 1. Built-in lead generation. We need lead capture, as we've talked about, but we don't necessarily want to have to create something unique to get that person to opt in. When you do a webinar, the lead capture is built in. They register with their name and email address to sign up for the training, right? So it's all built in. You don't need to create something new. What I've also learned, and this is point number 2, is that they are higher value leads. What do I mean by that? I've studied the data inside of my business and my clients' businesses, and we found that when someone registers for a webinar, and that was the entry point, as opposed to signing up for a lead magnet or some kind of free opt-in, I've found that they are 7 times more valuable. Isn't that insane? 7 times more valuable. What that means is that people that opt in for webinars buy 7 times more, 7 times faster. They spend 7 times more money. It's been absolutely insane to see that in my business, and I've just continued to focus on webinars ever since. Number 3, and I love this one, and I hope that you love it too, is the opportunity to provide value. Have you noticed what I've done on the training here today? Hopefully you're enjoying this. Hopefully you're getting a lot out of this. Hopefully you've got more time to stick around with me because we've got loads more to cover. I'm doubling down on value. Now what's really cool is that I'll make an offer a little bit later on, and many of you I think will want to take it. It's actually an insane offer. I potentially have lost my mind with some of the bonuses that I'm about to offer you. So it's insane. Some of you will buy it. That's great. But many of you won't. And that's also fine because I've still left you hopefully better off than the way I found you. You will have learned some cool stuff. Hopefully you've left with a good impression of me. Whether you buy or not, you now will hopefully remember my name, remember my face, and maybe we'll cross paths again in the future. Don't you want that for your business? Don't you want to have a really feel-good business where your entire model is centered around value, not sales gimmicks and loopholes and nonsense, but just value? And you allow the value to be the thing that wins you the clients. You just show up, share your zone of genius like I'm doing right now. This is the stuff I'm good at. I'm having fun. I'm just teaching it to you. And then you win some clients and customers off the back of it. It's amazing. Number 4, it does all the heavy lifting for you. When I do these sessions and I automate these sessions, as I mentioned to you earlier, I'm able to record this one time, do an epic training, and it can just run. And I can invite people to come and check it out, and I can put exclusivity on it, which we've of course done today. I've put the exclusivity that you're not going to be able to return, you're not going to be able to find this page again. We've cookie juiced, and you're not going to get retargeted to come back again. So this is one and done. It's your one chance. So we can create this exclusivity, but I've been able to automate it. So thousands, if not tens of thousands of people may come through and watch this presentation. How many times did I have to record it? 1. Highest leverage of time. Okay. Number 5, qualified prospects. The way we normally use webinars is to invite people to book a call out the other side. So you do an epic training and then you invite them to book a call to speak to you about your coaching. I'm actually going to flip the script today, and this is about the 5% of the time where I do something different, and I'm doing that differently today. You're about to experience that. It'd be super cool. You better watch me do the thing, which is fun. But when you're going to book a call, you get such highly qualified prospects because they've watched a presentation. They've been provided value first. And point number 6 is that they only book a call if they've watched till the end of the webinar. And that's the part that I love. I'll quickly show you this because it's actually so important that we understand and get this. When you've got a webinar and you've got, let's say from start to finish, in case you're wondering how long they need to be, you might be thinking, well, John, I'm watching you now doing a webinar that could go 2-3 hours. I mean, have I got to do the same? No. We actually recommend our clients start with a 40-minute webinar. So that's good news. And I've also got a really cool framework that I'm going to give you in just a minute that's going to help you with this. It's not going to solve all your problems, but it is going to help. So I'll share that with you in just a second. 40 minutes is where we start, and then we get our feet wet with this and we get good at it, and then we can build and do bigger stuff. And I only make these longer because I actually enjoy myself. I'm having fun. So maybe you want to have some fun in your business. You need a webinar. It'll solve all of your problems. Anyway, so let's say the webinar is 40 minutes. Well, then at 35 minutes, about that, I'm going to present the opportunity to book a call with me, right? And so when I do that, what's happened to all of the other people that perhaps weren't so serious? Someone arrived 5 minutes and left. Someone left at 10 minutes. Someone left maybe at 20 minutes, and so on and so forth. That may have happened already today on this webinar. Maybe you've been looking at the view count of how many people are currently watching this perhaps, and maybe you're seeing it go up and down, and that's interesting to you. It's interesting to me because I just think it's so awesome that I've got people coming into this webinar room, perhaps deciding it's not for them, not resonating with me. They don't like, my voice. They don't like how I present. They don't like my training, whatever it is. They're gone. I never even had to speak to them to disqualify them. Only people that are actually enjoying this, like it, got to the very end, have the opportunity to speak to me. And that means we have really good conversations with great prospects that are actually interested in moving forward. And that's the other reason as well. So my recommendation for you is that you get started with a webinar now. Stop overthinking it. You can do automated webinars, you can do live webinars, you can do short webinars, you can do longer webinars. You can get your foot in the door with this strategy and jump onto the constant that has just always worked and will continue to work. And I can teach you all of the strategies, by the way. In my Cold to Sold Academy, I'll teach you how to do short webinars to book calls, long webinars to book calls, selling on webinars, the presentations, the slide. I'll teach you everything. So stop worrying about it. Stop telling yourself all these stories now. Well, I can't do it because I don't have a slide deck, or I don't know how to present. I don't know. Like, you're already coming up with all these excuses in your mind as to why this wouldn't work for you. You've got to tell yourself a new story. You've got to get out of the PDPM cycle and let's get into action. Let's get into momentum and let me help you, because we can do this together. So anyway, I do have this resource I want to give you. It's going to basically walk you through how to put a webinar together start to finish and all the different things you need to do. I do want to give this to you as a free gift because we haven't got time to cover it all, but I do want to throw this out with a caveat, which is this is probably not going to be enough for you to actually launch an incredible, profitable webinar, okay? There is a lot of nuance to this, and it's challenging to get a webinar right. You do need further training and coaching and support and help, but this will at least get you started. If you're not in a position to invest in any of my training and coaching and things like that today, then at least this free gift will get you started and it will get you out of the PDPM cycle and you can start to take some action, all right? So webinars are incredible. You need one in your business, and I really hope you take it seriously enough to actually go ahead and do something about it right now. You know, I shared this with you earlier, but I'll share it again. This has worked for so many different people in such a variety of different industries. You know, these are real people just like you. And when we do our live events, we do these awards. We have people coming up to collect their $100,000 club award, meaning they've done over $100,000 with our training, our coaching, our support. And then we've got people that have done our $1 million award, earning over 7 figures with our training, support, and using this system and this model. And it's been so exciting to see that. And here's the number I'm incredibly proud of that I alluded to earlier on today. 122,400,000. That is how much our clients have reported to earn inside of our program. All right, it's absolutely insane. Now we've got more to cover. So if it's okay with you, we're going to dive into a bit more training. Now what we need to do is cover here the sales piece. All right, we have spoken about every other part so far. Quick recap: getting your house in order. We need to make sure that you are operating in the right way. You're structuring your offers correctly, pricing them, targeting the right people, getting clear on what the result is and then how you're going to deliver that result. Of course, then branding and your lifestyle figures, your hero figures. Driving traffic, buy it, build it, borrow it. They need to all work well together. Lead generation needs to be a component. If you're using webinars, that's built in. And then a cracking webinar presentation becomes your primary conversion vehicle. They have stood the test of time. Alex Hormozy, Dean Graziosi, Tony, myself, and others are proving that they are still the king, and you should be doing it too. So now what do we do with all the opportunity that's coming out the other end? How do we sell to people that are now caught up in our brand, excited about what we're doing, and perhaps ready to take action? Well, I'll tell you exactly what we do. We sell to them. And there are 2 ways that we sell to people. The first way I actually just demonstrated to you, and that is called one-to-many selling. One-to-many selling is when you make an offer to a group of people at the same time, and you are not finding out exactly what every individual person needs, but you are making one incredible offer to one group of people. And so if you like what I just did there, if perhaps you're excited by the offer I just made, perhaps you've taken me up on that offer, or maybe you haven't, but you're very intrigued as to how good that offer sounded, that is not by chance. There is a design that went into the offer that I just made, and some of the content actually that led up to the offer. There is an incredible amount of science that went into that, and I'll teach you all about it in the Cold to Sold Academy. So if you want to learn how I just did what I did, then you can do that. But for most of you watching this, this is not the vehicle. You might say, oh, John, what do you mean? You just did it, so surely that's your main thing. It's actually not my main thing. What you have found right now is a version of my training class that is actually the anomaly. It's a bit of the unicorn. My primary business focuses on high ticket sales, working with premium level clients. And that's where we make our money. That's where we have an incredible impact, and where we have a lot of fun. This offer is something which I basically just described to you. It's a stepping stone. Even on my blueprint, like, you know, everything I do is on here. If you look at this really closely, what does it say here? It says one-to-many selling, which points to getting customers, but there's an arrow that points down to clients. What that implies is that when you do any kind of one-to-many sales presentation like the one I've just done, it should be so darn good that those customers can't help but feel compelled to want to become a client. And that's, of course, where you make the bulk of your money. So that's what you find yourself on right now. But for most of you, that's not the path to choose. The path to choose is to go directly to high ticket. It's the easier way to scale to 6 and 7 figures. I now have a business that does 8 figures, and so we're just in a slightly different stage to you perhaps, and so we're using more vehicles to achieve the same outcome. But to get to 6 and 7 figures, you just start with one-to-one sales. So let's talk about what that is, and that'll be the primary case study for today. One-to-one sales is when you are getting to the end of your webinar presentation, and rather than making an offer that, like I just did, the offer is to book a call with you, to have a chat and see if working together inside of your program, taking you up on your products and services and whatever it is that you offer, is the right decision for them. You can sell $2,000 programs, you can sell $5,000 programs, 10, 15, 20, 30, even 50 and above. You can sell on a one-to-one conversation. And it makes it possible because you have an incredible webinar that's doing all the heavy lifting for you, that's disqualifying the wrong people and qualifying the right people, okay? So you've got to remember that cold to sold timeline. It's so critical because not all prospects are created equal. You've got to remember what we spoke about earlier on today, which is the cold to sold timeline. Oh, where is it? Here it is. The cold to sold timeline. You've got to keep this in your mind, because you can get people booking calls with you down at a 2, at a 3, at a 5, at a 7, at a 9. And so all of those calls are then coming onto your calendar. You can't treat them the same. You can't assume that those conversations are going to go the same. You can't assume that the conversion rate is going to be the same. You can't assume they're all just going to be rollover sales. And you also can't assume they're all going to be terrible. It's a spectrum. So what we need to do is lock into one strategy. Tunnel vision. I want to get my penny that's doubling every day. I want to get it past that first 10-day roadblock at $5. I want to get into day 20, day 30 and see exponential growth. The only way you're going to do that is by locking in to a strategy, going all in and actually focusing on it. And if you do that, you know that all of the prospects are going through the same process. So now we eliminate the spectrum. Now we're saying, it's not that I don't know where they're all coming from and I don't know whether I've got a 2 or a 9 or a 10. You know. They all come from the same vehicle, watching the same information, booking a call at the same time. So just like a relay race where there's a team of people that are working together to achieve an outcome and they're passing the baton over to the next person. It's like marketing passes off to sales and says, I've done my bit, now you take over. And sales picks up exactly where marketing leaves off. It's also another reason why when you learn something like this, it's so paramount that you learn it from the same place. Because for many of you, I know that you're perhaps learning traffic strategies from one online guru, and then you've got your tools and your software over here, but that's got no connection, no relevance. They're not talking about the same thing. Then you're building funnels, learning it from someone else, and then you picked up a random sales script from Grant Cardone or someone like that, and it's like just trying to duct tape all this stuff together and wondering why it's not working. Because it wasn't designed to work together, therefore it's not going to work together. When you join us in the Cold to Sold Academy, it's like everything is designed to work together. You're learning every strategy, every piece of the game, and it's a team that works cohesively. So You've got to keep that. You've got to keep that in mind. So now, when we pick up our sales conversations, we know, and we can have the same conversation with every prospect using the same script, and we can close them. So I've got a few things that I do need to point out, and this is actually really going to help you. I've got some more frameworks to share with you, even if you don't decide to join the Cold to Sold Academy today. I do want to just leave you with as much goodwill as I possibly can, as much free training and free resources. And so I've got these two sales frameworks, okay? Much like the webinar framework I spoke about earlier, it's not gonna solve all your problems, okay? It's not going to, suddenly have you crushing it on the phone, because you need the script for that. But at least it's going to give you the framework so you can start to understand the building blocks of what makes this happen. Before I talk about these, you need to understand why they're relevant and why they're important. And to understand why they're relevant and important, you've got to understand the big problem that is happening in our industry right now. Let me share it with you. I've been doing high ticket sales for a long time. I have been selling coaching and courses and services, and you name it, I've probably done it and tried it. I've probably failed at it, and then I've probably found a way to make it successful. And when I first started selling high ticket, I realized the need to sell on the phone. I had to learn that skill. And I did exactly what I just described to you there. I was watching videos on YouTube from Grant Cardone and other people like that are teaching sales that just didn't really feel up my street, let's say. It felt very pushy, felt very manipulative. It felt like you're kind of just being dragged through the brambles on this sales call and beaten into submission until you say yes and take the offer. And I feel almost ashamed to say this. I started doing it like that in the beginning because I didn't know another way. Like I knew I had to learn sales. I felt so out of my depth. I'm still just trying to fumble my way through. So I just thought, well, this is what the guys seem to say you got to do. So I tried it, and every time I got off a sales call, I just felt so dirty. It was just like this conversation was not enjoyable. I feel like I've just opened up the sales rule book and I'm just throwing all these objection handling things at them and kind of, it almost felt like I was cornering a prospect on the phone. I just didn't feel good. It just didn't sit right with me. And I had had enough success in my business up until this point to believe that I could perhaps invent a new way of doing sales. Now, it's not always wise to try and invent something new because you run the risk of it not going to plan and you've wasted years of your life. But I just had a hunch that I could figure out a better way to do this. I thought there must be a way that you can have sales conversations with prospects that feel good, that are enjoyable, the prospect feels good about it, you feel good about it, and they convert and they close higher than anything else. And what I basically decided is that I'm going to split. And this is one of the big takeaways for you. I split what used to be one sales conversation. Imagine you just had one script, one sales conversation. That is it. And I've got to, while I get through the script, I've got to take someone all the way to the very end, and they need to say yes. And if they don't say yes, I've got to keep going and hounding them and bothering them until they say yes, even if perhaps they don't want to. That was the way I was taught to do it. Horrible. Just don't want to do it anymore. So I thought, I'm getting to the end of all of these conversations and people aren't even converting anyway. I'm doing all of this stuff that doesn't feel very good and I'm still not getting the yes. So I was like, what if I split it? What if I took what used to be one conversation and I split it and I did different things on one call to the other? And what if the first conversation almost like sets the scene, sets the tone? What if the first conversation, here's the kicker, what if the first conversation I didn't even sell them? What if the first conversation was truly just getting to know the prospect and allowing them to get to know me? And what if I could do that in a really strategic way so that I actually build unshakable desire to buy my program even before I've offered it? Like, imagine how that would feel. Imagine you're on the phone with a prospect. You're not even inviting them in. You're not even offering them the product. Yet just because of how the conversation has gone, the person on the other end of the phone is actually asking you if they can join your program. They're asking you how much it is to work with you. They're asking you whether you can break your own rule and let them in. Imagine how that would make you feel if prospects are like knocking down your door. They're chasing you, not the other way around. That's what I thought could be possible. And so then I thought, well, if I achieve that, then I could follow up with a second conversation, perhaps a day or two later, and that's where I pick up on the sales conversation and close them and invite them in. But by that point, all the work's been done up front. I implemented this and I wrote a script Now that script has changed a little bit over time as I've tested this on my own calls and tested it with my team, and we've refined it and perfected it. But I wrote a script and I started practicing this, and then I delivered it on some calls, and the results were just unbelievable. My sales conversion doubled overnight, like literally doubled overnight. I then taught this to my sales team. Their sales conversion doubled overnight. I then started teaching this to clients. Their sales conversion started to double, but further than it doubling, everyone was enjoying their calls more. The prospects felt more open, more warm, more invited, and they were more inviting to talk to. And then, of course, we're just closing at such a higher rate. So anyway, all of that to say, the process is called the push, okay, and the pull. And I've built frameworks to teach you how to do both of these calls, so you know the style and the flow. And then, of course, if you join the Cold to Sold Academy and you take me up on this incredible offer today, you'll get the full script along with everything else. It's insane. That's what you need to be using now. All right, it's incredible. So I'll give you those frameworks because again, we're limited for time today. But I want to I want you to understand the structure, the style, and what we're trying to do and how we're trying to do it, so that you can go and start to learn this and go in the right direction. All right? So that is sales. Now, the final piece we need to talk about, I should probably come a little bit wider for this. The final piece is nurture and convert. Okay? It's nurture and convert. Once you've got all of these leads that are coming down from your lead capture and they're joining your email list, the question becomes, what do we do to convert more of them over time into customers, into clients, into more revenue? How can we get this to bolster the cash that we're collecting on the back end so that we alleviate the pressure on the front end so that we can put more budget behind finding more traffic that then further amplifies everything we're doing and grows the business? Well, there are three things that we do, and it's all here on the framework. We follow up, we provide more value, and we do what's called second chance campaigns. So I actually want to walk you through this so that you know exactly where this all fits in and how this all works. Okay, so when you're building your funnel, or rather driving traffic into your funnel, you're going to be perhaps running some ads, maybe you've got some content, maybe you've been on someone's stage and you've borrowed their audience. Regardless, you're driving traffic in to somewhere. What that's going to be is a registration page for your webinar. Okay, most likely, that's what it's going to be. Then when they register for that webinar, they are going to be joining your email list, and we'll talk more about that in a minute, but they join your email list, and they of course come in and watch your webinar. Now, I'm going to teach you both of these strategies in the Cold to Sold Academy, but you can do them live, or you can do them automated. I've made millions with both. There's a time and a place to do a webinar live and get some practice and actually connect with people. For some of you watching this right now, you might just prefer the idea of doing that. You're like, actually, yeah, I'd rather just do more live stuff, but have that personal interaction with the audience. Great. You might just say, actually, no, I'd rather prioritize lifestyle, I'd rather automate my webinar. No problem. Whichever you want to do, I've made millions of both, and I can teach you all of the frameworks. So they come into the webinar, and then of course, out the other end, you're most likely going to be offering them a sales conversation, and then they're going to hear about your coaching. Maybe it's 5K, right? So they might buy your program. Now, how do we take what is currently, let's say we spent $2,000 on your traffic. Okay, now that might be over a month, 2 months, 3 months. Don't get too alarmed by that figure and say, oh my gosh, John, I'm about to join Cold to Sold Academy for $297, but now you're saying I've got to spend $2,000 on traffic? No, I'm using an example here. You would start with perhaps $5 a day for 5 days and just see how the numbers are starting to fall, and you grow and scale over time. The thing about paid ads is you just reinvest the profit. All right, so I'm just going to a slightly bigger example now, imagining you've got some momentum. So you spend $2,000 on some traffic over a period of time, and that's having a trickle effect here. Some people are registering, some people are attending, some people are booking calls, and some people are closing. Let's just say that this gave you 20 people that booked calls, 20. And let's just say that you converted terribly. You should convert way better than this. Let's say you converted terribly, and you got 4 of those to say yes to this offer here. Well, how much is that worth to you? Again, I can do the math. 20,000. Okay, is that right, Pete? Yes, 4 times 5. 20,000. Okay, 20,000 is what that has returned for you. What has that left you with, though? That's left me with 16 people. This is so important, what I'm about to say. That's left you with 16 people that are warm as anything. They've been through this entire process. They know you, like you, trust you, watched your webinar till the end, booked a call, showed up for the call, had a conversation with you. They are warm as you can get. They just, for whatever reason, aren't ready to do it now. They weren't quite the right fit now. Maybe you didn't invite them in. Maybe they just couldn't quite source the funds now. Maybe they're about to go on holiday and just didn't want to think about a buying decision now. Maybe we're getting close to a public holiday and so they just wanted to just not have, to make this decision now. If we just move on, then okay, it's great. You spent 2,000 and you made 20,000 in your business, so you're profitable, everything's nice. But now you're just about to go back and try to run everything again to get your fresh 20 people. Well, what if you get your fresh 20 people, but you're also following up with your 16 people, and over time, another one of those converts 25, another one of those converts 30, another one of those converts 35, another one of those converts 40. What if over time we follow back up? That's the first strategy, okay? The first strategy is not sexy, but as is true with a lot of the training that I deliver, I'd rather teach you the stuff that actually works but isn't sexy than teach you the sexy stuff that doesn't work. And I think most other trainings and gurus that you're watching and listening to are just kind of pulling the wool over your eyes and just telling you the stuff that you want to hear, but is actually not effective. So I'm going to teach you the boring stuff. So if you're here for it, then there's more coming. So follow up. Not sexy, kind of boring, but what if we just had a little bit of a system here where those 16 people go in something that we call a pipeline? And you can have this in Funneler that can store those details and you can follow back up with them. What if 30 days later, you just make manual contact with your pipeline? What if you check in with those 16 people and say, hey, just checking in, are you still struggling with insert blank? Maybe that's a text message, maybe that's a WhatsApp, maybe that's a phone call, maybe that's an email. What you'll find is a lot of them will reply back to you because they're warm. So you're not cold, DMing them now, right? You're not just trying to desperately get attention in their inbox. Like, they know who you are, so they're probably going to open, they're probably going to reply. So now out of the 16, imagine you have 10 of them replying back to you. Hey, thanks for checking in, appreciate it. 3 of the 10 say, do you know what, actually, no, I am still struggling with this. And, I'd like to talk again about what it was that you had. So you go, yeah, no problem, you jump on the phone. What if 2 out of those 3 convert? Another 10 grand popped out of your pipeline, but all the while you're getting another fresh 20 from your front end marketing. That brought another 16 down here. So this is building, your pipeline's building while you're also generating more sales from it. So all of this activity is happening while this is now another part of the activity of your business. Again, I can't reinforce this enough. This is a system. It all needs to work together. For some of you, you need to make a decision today to join the Cold to Sold Academy. Why am I being so bullish on this? Because I know how good it is and I know it can help you. For many of you, you're about to run the risk of leaving this webinar and saying, John, this sounded good, thanks for the training, got some golden nuggets, thanks for that. And you're going to go off and you're going to do exactly what you were doing before. Learning traffic from one place, funnels from another, confused by the tech, struggling with your offer, getting in your own way, don't understand the back end stuff, can't do email copywriting, and then you're just trying to duct tape it all together. That must stop. You've got to learn all of this from the same place, and I'm offering it you today for the most incredible price for the amount of value that you're getting. It's insane. So you've got to do it, okay? So it's the first thing, follow up. Second thing is value, and I actually really like this one because when you've got all of these emails that are building here, you've got a handful of people here in your pipeline, you've got hundreds, eventually thousands of people in your email inbox. They didn't, in many cases, get past that line. They opted in but maybe didn't attend. Or they did attend but they only got to there, right? So then they're still in your email list. They just haven't really gotten to the proper part of the process yet. And so what I want to do is I want to keep them warm. I want to keep them happy. I want to stay front and center so that when they do decide that they want to take some action, I'm the one they think of. And I want you to be able to do the same thing. So what I do is I send emails out to my database. If you're on my email list now, then you'll experience this, that quite simply provide value. I do not want to harass them. I do not want to annoy them. But I do want to continue to provide value so that they remember who I am. The best way to do this, I said, see here for content. Maybe this is your YouTube channel, maybe this is your Instagram account, maybe this is your LinkedIn. What I like to do with value emails, you should write this down, is I send an email and I point it back to my Build It platforms. Again, system. This is all working together. I provide a bit more value and I basically send an email that says, hey, just wanted to check in. I've just recorded an amazing new training that I've uploaded on my YouTube channel. I think you'll find it really helpful. I talk about XYZ. Click here to come check it out. And I send them back there. Maybe you're watching this and you've got a podcast or you'd like to have one where you got your first few viewers because you send an email to your list and you point them to your podcast. Maybe you just made that great Google article or posted on LinkedIn. Got a great article. Great. Send an email to your list. You got your first few viewers. And now they're in your Build It. They might find a way back through a link and they might even on their own accord come through this process. So your value emails may actually start to make you immediate money, but that's not even the goal. The goal is that you're just providing more value to them, okay? That creates the goodwill, which then gives you the opportunity to do the third and final strategy, which is the second chance. And the second chance is you've got value going off this way and you have second chance going off this way. And second chance, this is the simplest, easiest way for you to add to your bottom line and get some more clients without having to do basically any extra work. And that is, you invite them, follow my line here, I'll do a different color, just so that we don't get lost. You send some emails to your list and you invite them to come back and re-register for the thing that they originally registered for. Because much like with your pipeline, they just might not be ready to make a decision now. Same is true for these people. They registered for the webinar. They indicated with their behavior that they liked the sound of the presentation. They just weren't ready, perhaps, to watch it all the way through or attend on that day, or something else got in the way. So maybe a week later, a month later, 2 months later, maybe they're in a better position. Maybe the next time, the second chance they get to come back, they actually do decide to take action and register and then come through this process and they become one of the 20, they maybe become one of the 4. If failing that, they become one of the 16 that you then follow up with, okay? Now you might look at this board right now and say, John, that's looking a bit messy. Now it's starting to feel like there's a lot going on. It's not that difficult. That's your head already starting to tell you a story that's going to make an excuse for why you stay stuck in the PDPM cycle. You've got to catch these thoughts or you'll never get to the day 20 or the day 30 of that penny doubling. When you look at this objectively, we are running some traffic, producing some content, running some ads. We're registering them for our webinar presentation that we record one time and automate it, or do it live and have fun delivering it. We invite them to book a call with us and perhaps we sign up some clients. And then we've got 3 strategies to follow up with them to maximize the revenue and the value moving forward. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you're actually excited by this. You should be excited. Right now you feel great. You're like, I'm understanding the plan, I'm understanding the system, I'm understanding what I need to do. And of course now you've got the software either inside the Cold Sold Academy process, or you can just get the software by itself. Either way, you've now got the software to even make this stuff happen, which is amazing. All right. So we've covered a lot so far, and I really, really hope you have found this helpful. I love delivering these trainings. I have so much fun. I guess I'll actually say this. I want you to think right now, like seriously, right now, I want you to think, what if I swapped places with John right now? How would that make me feel? Because what you're watching me do is share things that I'm excited about, that I've built, that I've had results with. I'm delivering a webinar and having a great time. It's not scripted. I've got my notes here on my iPad. I've had some slides to help me, but I'm scribbling doodles and circles on a board. I'm having a great time. I've got hundreds, if not thousands of people coming through this webinar presentation. So I'm attracting serious amounts of traffic into this presentation. that will make me quite a bit of money, lots of sales coming in, lots of great new customers. Many of those will eventually decide to become clients. What if you could be in that position? What if you had all those things? Because right now, I don't think you do, otherwise you wouldn't be here. But they could be available to you. It might be you've missed opportunities. That option has come by and you're like, oh, maybe, I don't know, oh no, it's gone. You wait for the next one, maybe that one, oh no, it's gone. This opportunity is just passing. You're waiting for the next one, but what are you waiting for? But for some of you, right here, right now, you're actually in this position. You keep talking about this other thing and that I might not be ready for it yet or perhaps wouldn't be interested. I actually think I am interested. I actually think I do want to talk about what your full experience is. And I know it's expensive and I know there's a year-long commitment and it's a big thing, but I feel ready to at least explore that and see if you and your team are the right people to not just train me and give me your tools, but actually hold my hand and coach me, and I want to meet the community and I want to be a part of a mastermind. Then you might be ready for this, okay? You might be ready to book a call, have a chat with my team, and we'll be delighted to talk to you. We have our flagship program called Momentum. It is not open all the time. We have periods of time where we're closed for enrollment and we do little cohorts. That is our model. It's the way we do it. We get a bit of backlash. People get frustrated. They get excited about joining and they want to join, and then we just don't let them join. So we get a bit of backlash, but it's just the way we do it. We prefer taking small cohorts of clients at the same time, and then we bring them in and work through the process with them, and then we close down enrollment for a while. So at the time of you watching this, I don't know if it's open or closed. So what I'll do is I'll put a link in the chat. My team will do that right now. And you can go to a page, you can find out a little bit more about our full Momentum experience. And it is insane compared to the offer that you're seeing today. I mean, this is good. But when you see what we've got, I mean, this just scratches the surface. Now you're going to be a part of a community of like-minded people. You're going to get to come and meet me and my team in person. We do mastermind sessions. We do updated training on trends and AI and what's happening in the marketplace right now. We bring in guest speakers. We give you access to celebrity. I mean, it's insane what we do. So you can click the link and you can check out what our full experience is like and see if that might be something more appropriate. And if you are interested, then you can just book a call. And we'll just do the same exact process with you as I described in my training earlier. You know, we practice what we preach. So we do this. We do the push and the pull. We do exactly what we preach. So when we have our first conversation, there's nothing to buy. You're not allowed to join. We're probably closed, but even if we're currently open for applications, then you still can't join on that first conversation. We want to get to know you, give you a chance to get to know us. Then we'll determine if it's a good fit. If it is, we'll jump on the phone again and invite you in, and you can decide if you want to accept the invitation. So it's the most low pressure sales you perhaps have ever experienced. But be warned, the offer is very, very good, so you probably will want to buy it. And then it's a case of if we invite you in, and that will be on the pull call. So either way, you'll have a great conversation, just chatting with my team, talking shop, seeing if you're the type of business that we can help and if you would qualify for it. And if you do, we can hold you a spot ready for our next open enrollment period. So that being said, I have loved the session today. I love delivering these types of trainings, and it's been awesome to have you here with us. And I wish you all the very best. Whatever it is that you do, if you come into our program, look forward to seeing you there. Look forward to seeing you in the software. And maybe at some point, we'll see you around a table in a room in our Momentum Mastermind, which would also be awesome too. All right, hope this has been insane value. If it has, please message me somewhere online, connect with us on social, drop us an email. We'd love to hear how you found the training today. I've put a lot into this and I hope you got a lot of value. And what I'll do is I will leave you with a testimonial reel from a bunch of our clients and customers who have worked with us, who have gone through these training systems and the results that they've gotten, and then enjoy this video, hear from real people that have worked with us and see what they said. And I hope to see you in some way inside of our ecosystem. Thanks again for joining.
I just felt like joining a group and making a big investment such as this one would allow me to just stay more consistent. We've generated more revenue in the last 12 months than we had done in the previous 3 years combined. The biggest difference has been in breaking down limiting beliefs. Getting to 6 figures online was the first goal, and now it's 7 figures. It can seem a bit scary at first, but I made that investment back in the first month.
The person that I was when I first came in versus who I am now, completely two different people. Why? Because of John and the great team. They have poured into me. They've given me tips. They've given me advice, practical advice, because YouTube can be given advice, but this is practical advice, and it's completely changed the trajectory of my business. As a words of affirmation girly, this team tap into my words of affirmation bag. They encourage me whenever I feel down, confused, lost. They are right beside me, like cheering me on.
There it is, yesterday. Boom. Second 100k sterling month. I needed help to scale from being a solopreneur to actually having a real business, and the journey so far has just been amazing. I've got people who've already been successful in the areas that I'm struggling with or I feel a little bit overwhelmed with.
I launched on Friday. It hasn't even been a week yet. It's Thursday. I got 16 calls booked in the diary. So far closed 2 that I made an offer to. The other 2 that I made an offer to, I've got the follow-up calls coming up. Once I launched, the calls came in very fast and I was like, oh my God, I'm not ready for this. But that first person I spoke to, I did close. And that was all organic from just one social media post on LinkedIn. I was scared to put it anywhere else. I was scared to put another one out because I was like, my diary kept getting like fully booked. Are you where you want to be? Because if you're not, do something about it, you know? I'm genuinely feeling emotional right now, like so happy that I did that for myself and did kind of realize that like I'm not putting up with this for another year.
I have been around the block with online marketing for a long time, and I signed up to ad clients and their process back in March, so that's like 5 weeks ago. And for the first time ever, following a process where they've taken me through step by step by step, I now have something for the first time that seems to actually be working. And I'm literally 7 days, 8 days into a launch, and I've had 12 people who are qualified leads book to have calls with me. I think one of the best things about the ad clients team is they care. I mean, they really care, and there's nothing they will not do.
You guys are 100. It has been, I mean, like literally, it has been amazing, phenomenal. So specifically, I love so far the program, all the content, all the people, right? So really I've learned a ton, I would say primarily on just like true, empathetic, legitimate, sales and marketing, right? That's authentic though to who I am. And I'm not just begging somebody to make a sale, but I really want to help somebody.
This for me is not just a business program. This is about kind of really changing your life, expanding your life as well as your business. That's something that I've really loved. The amount of people that you've got kind of that are like experts who can give you advice and guidance. I come into ad clients and I'm like, oh my God, this blows my mind. I love this.
Being a solopreneur was basically my biggest problem. I had no joy in following my dream, and now I have joy every day. Last summer I had a lot of pinch me moments because I started taking a lot of calls. Like we doubled down on our ads, and at one point I was doing 7 calls a day. And I was speaking to some of the best people in my industry, and I could never have got that caliber of student on my own. Not because I wasn't good enough, but I just did not have a flipping clue how to get in front of them.
We're not even at the end of April yet, and we made 2 big changes. Like number 1, application scoring, and number 2, like we swapped up our fulfillment a little bit, and then those 2 changes in the last 3.5 weeks have increased our sales conversion by 12%, and we made an extra 100K. Like, and it's been less than a month.
You know, I've had maybe a few business coaching programs before in the past, but this is far by the best. Coming from a place where I thought, how am I ever going to bring the income back into my business? After leaving ad clients, within a week, I brought in £11,500. This is for what you call first class service. I'm telling people in business about ad clients because if they think that they can do this on their own, I'm telling you, you can't. We all need someone to nurture us and hold our hand, and this is the best thing I've seen in a long time.
You know, if anybody is inspired by my story, it's literally all thanks to John, the team. It's like, I mean, my entire life and everything I do is just like, I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for John. So
I think if I wouldn't have had you, like, you know, be patient, have to make it work. Now, I had 2,000 euros, and I had an additional 2 that I sold each for 3,000 euros.
It felt like quite a big step to start this and invest in myself sometimes feels a little bit selfish, is just, it's completely changed my whole approach to my business.
The knowledge that I've kind of learned over these last, two years now, it's got me to a point where it's transformed my entire life. Not only have I bought a new house and new cars and these kind of things, but it's basically sort of set up my business for the next, X amount of years now. I feel as though I can't really fail in what I want to do because I just got these guys there to kind of, just guide me and keep me on track.
I was doing everything in a one-to-one model. So that really meant that everything that I was doing had a massive cap on it. I couldn't see another way out of that, but I desperately wanted to find a way out of that kind of model. Within the first 3 weeks, I think I was out there making sales. And then I think within the first month, I really hit a milestone of realizing this works. This is really going to work. This is going to transform my life.
The work with the Ad Clients team has been really supportive, very comprehensive. There's lots of content and team available. I'm consistently getting calls booked, clients on board, to the point that I closed even a sale this morning. I was just I kind of forgot to block my diary on Monday evening, but so between the session finishing and dinner, I had the sales call, the first part, and the second part was booked for 8 o'clock this morning, and within 15 minutes, this guy was sold, basically.
Amazing, so good.
Thank you. And
as solopreneur, I'm all on my own. Having the community around you to really help you make decisions, to bounce ideas off people, to get input is so important. I managed to restructure my pricing and restructure the deal that I was offering, and it's made me substantially more profitable. These 6 sales have been more lucrative than probably the last 40 sales that I've done over the last 40 months.
If I'm honest, the first 30 days, I'll be honest as well, because I think it's fair. I was like, I can either keep like resisting this and be like a little bit of a, what's the word? I don't want to say pain in the ass, but like a little bit like defensive against it because I've paid this money and I like entitled sort of thing. Yeah. Or I could just like get stuck in and have a go at it. And as soon as I made the switch after a week or so, and I really realized like I've made the payment, straight away things started moving. Got clients over the line almost straight away. Like I say, we're pushing to get to sort of 20K a month by the end of the year if we can. It still kind of baffles me that like a business I own or run or whatever can be making anywhere near the money, even the money that I'm on now. So that the money the business is doing now, it's weird.
But sometimes when you meet people or you join programs, you're in it now, you're like, oh, what I thought the other end is not what I have inside. But the funny thing is, it's actually been more than that. It's been better than that. It's been greater than that. It's been everything I thought of John beforehand, and the team has been increased by me being part of the program. I'm grateful. I joined Ad Clients a few months ago now, and since there's been so good. My mind has grown so much. When you invest into a program, you're not investing into them, you're really investing into yourself, and I've seen it.
It's very important to be around the right people and also to have the right mentorship. And for me, it's just being around people that are very knowledgeable, that are experts, and that are also not just know a lot, but are actually doing what they tell you to do themselves.
The beauty is you have got all of John's team. You've actually got access to all of his people who can help you every step of the way, and they hold your hand, and anytime you're stuck, it really doesn't matter because they are there. They've got your back. They're in your corner with you, and it's massive.
We wouldn't have done it without the accountability, without the structure, without the support, without the warmth. I would say that joining Ad Clients has probably been the smartest business decision that we made.
Thank you so much for this award. We now have 350 clients. We've scaled it to multi-six figures, and I can't say thank you enough for John, and thank you everyone so much. You're in the right rooms. Thank you so much.
I was in this audience last year, and there's loads of blaggers and bluffers in this industry, and my gut just told us to do it, and I'd done it, and it was a great decision, great team. He's a great bloke as well, more than anything. Integrity, honesty, he's mega, man. Just do it.
I was literally at nothing. I created this new business with you guys from the start all the way to now. I've got clients and I've got a sales team, and literally just like running this whole new business that I created less than 4 months ago.
So it's just been amazing.
I started the training on the 27th of January, and we went live with the webinar to a warm audience on the 17th of February. We got our first sale on the 19th of February. And up until today, we've got £18,000 worth of sales. 3 calls today, 2 new calls and a follow-up, another follow-up tomorrow. And then over the weekend, we've got 7 calls in. So it's going to be a busy weekend. And that was down to £380 spent in ads.
John and his team have literally taken all of their knowledge and compressed that into a workflow that anybody can understand step by step by step. I couldn't believe what I saw. This is the pathway. Do this, then do this, then do this. And once you've done that, do this, then do this, then do this. Honestly, I can't speak highly enough of what this Momentum program has done for myself, for my views towards where my business can go, and for my hope. It's incredible.
The big result, we've now done over £2.1 million. £2.1 million, yeah.
Good man.
The last 5 years have been remarkable. It's changed my life, my wife's life, my kids' life. And I've got to say, with the right team and the right strategy and the right focus, everything is possible.
The whole program over the last couple of months has been absolutely immense. The program itself, again, is so supportive. The team are absolutely brilliant, whether it's a Slack call, whether it's a school meeting, whether it's a support group. And again, other members on Momentum are there to help. And it's just, I feel like I've constantly got that help and that support network that's going to drive me forward.
Before joining Ad Clients and the program which they offer, I was earning something around £500. I was undercharging, but I was delivering great value. But joining Ad Clients and the program, I got to see that the way I was pricing and packaging my offer was not really right, and they gave me that clarity. And the results where I am now, coming from somewhere that I'm charging £500, undercharging myself, to where I've generated 6 figures. So I'm now over 100K in revenue. All of this, you need a coach to be able to take you to that next step. And Ad Client has been there every step of the way to give me those great results.
If you truly want to change your life, take advantage of years and years of experience, shortcut your way to success. The whole team as a whole, super supportive, super skilled in very specific parts, but coming together has been absolutely incredible and so approachable. I feel I'm in really safe, capable hands that want to help us grow, and hands that can show through provable results what they've done with other clients and what we're seeing with the people in the room behind me now about what we can do if we really take action.
Don't reinvent the wheel. Go find someone that's done it before you and just rinse and repeat. And that's why I've come to Ad Clients, just to rinse and repeat, where I don't need to use this. I know what I know in trading, but I don't know in marketing, and that's what I really get most value from. From zero to webinar up running, adverts filmed, having the ads ready to rock and roll and getting the leads in. We got it done in the first 30 days to get the whole machine up and running. It's averaged out to around 460% return on ad spend. We're hitting around 12 to 18,000 a week now. One of my favorite things about Ad Clients in particular is like-minded individuals, but also having access to the Ad Clients team. So it's a pretty much full A to Z system that they've created, which allows me to, again, plug and play, not reinvent the wheel. I teach that in trading. Don't reinvent the wheel. Go find someone that's done it before you and just rinse and repeat.
Before I worked with Ad Clients, I had never run a live webinar before. So I figured, because I have a public speaking background, that a live webinar would be a good idea. So where did I go? To the best, the absolute best in the industry. That is Ad Clients. They came highly recommended. So I followed their framework. My very first webinar, my first live webinar I've ever done in my life, cash collected over $107,000 in 3 days. Freaking nuts. They're all about, making it organic, keeping it fun, keeping it light, but more importantly, leading to actual change for your clients. You want to hit them with the wow and not the how? Well, you'll learn more about that when you actually sign up. Highly recommend them if you want to make an impact and make a crap load of money in the meantime. So it's freaking awesome. Sign up.